Better ways to students we struggle, yeah, yeah. But we rise again, come what may, yeah. In this abundance of wealth, still the poor people cannot cope. Oh, my Trinidad. Until they go. It is a stark reality. So much of given up hope. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my, oh no, oh no. Some turn to vagrants in the city. Homeless children begging of mercy, Lord. Child abuse has risen again. Looks like Jean and Dinah come back in tongue. The girls and them singing the song. To survive by any means necessary, dignity gone down the drain. Some say the leaders have failed to do right for one and for all. When there is an imbalance of the scale, then the writing is on the wall. If you ignore the plight of the people, well, the devil shall intervene. It's only divine intervention. I hope you know what I mean. Well, is it true that God is a pretty? With all these patterns, we glad drainage. No, no. The hills are alive in a different way.
Lennox Smith TCT, The Ground Report on the Corridor Transformation 7. Oct 2024, Nothing But the Truth.
And it's a truth we have this money in this life of so much poverty. No, no. The Lord is my shepherd, come what may, yeah. Do you the bottom of the deep? Yeah, the Christ, the people you see, all is well. So we, no, 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 no. So let me mess up. Why? There must be. There must be. There must be. The people today, I say. There must be. There must be.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
I am the seed of the father.
Good morning,
EBC
Trinidad and
gets
Tobago.
61 EBC gets $61 million more for 2025. Clint Chan tax 16
Yes,
hours
20
ago.
minutes past the hour of
The
6
Elections
o'clock.
and Boundaries Commission's head office
And you
on
listen to the
Frederick
Gong
Street,
Report.
Port of Spain.
I'm viewing the Gong
File
Report
photo by Ionic and Sol. The Elections and
on
Boundaries
Real
Commission's
Media
head office
TT
on
on
Frederick
Facebook,
Street, Port of Spain.
Real Media TT
File
on
photo by
YouTube.
Ionic and Sol. The Elections and Boundaries Commission,
Not forgetting
EBC,
Corridor
has
Transformation
received
on YouTube. Love, Love and Tea on
$61,121,595 increase in its
Facebook.
budgetary allocation. This information
And
was
obviously, we
contained in the
cannot
draft
forget the
estimates
Workers'
of the
Rights
current
Platform.
expenditure for fiscal 2025, which were laid in the House
It
of
is what it
Representatives
is.
on September 30th.
And how
In
could we
fiscal
forget?
2024, the EBC
From 8
received
to
an allocation
10,
of
we'll be live on Guile, the Caribbean.
$70,913,405. This was
Trinidad
increased to
and Tobago. Good morning to you.
$132,308,000 for fiscal 2025. Inside of the $132,308,000 figure, the allocation for election expenses was increased from $4,681,045 in fiscal 2024 to $47,945,000 in fiscal 2025. During fiscal 2024, local government by-elections took place in Indian Walk/Lengua and Quinam/Morne Diablo. The next general election is constitutionally due by August 2025. EBC gets $61 million more for 2025. Clint Chantak. 16 hours ago, the Elections and Boundaries Commission's head office on Frederick Street, Port of Spain. File photo by Ionic and Sol. The Elections and Boundaries Commission, EBC, has received a $61,121,595 increase in its budgetary allocation. This information was contained in the draft estimates of recurrent expenditure for fiscal 2025, which were laid in the House of Representatives on September 30. In fiscal 2024, the EBC received an allocation of $70,913,405. This was increased to $132,308,000 for fiscal 2025. Inside of the $132,308,000 figure, the allocation for election expenses was increased from $4,681,045 in fiscal 2024 to $47,945,000 in fiscal 2025. During fiscal 2024, local government by-elections took place in Indian Wak/Lengua and Quinam/Morne Diablo. The next general election is constitutionally due by August 2025.
Hey
Tyra and all the Tyras, a pleasant good morning to each and every one of you.
room for prejudice at all. United we stand, divided we fall.
Who calling me early? So let me hear something wrong. Let me hear. Morning caller, where you calling from? And it had to be something wrong. What's your contribution on the #1 program this morning?
Lee calls for clarity on cross-border gas fields.
Lennox.
Paula Lindo 16 hours ago. Point APR MP David Lee.
I have to tell
File
you
photo.
something here this
Point
morning.
APR
You
MP
hear
David
me
Lee.
loud and clear?
File photo.
Yes, on your base,
Point
nobody
APR
dead
MP
or
David
something.
Lee
Well,
called
I
on
know
government to come
somebody
clean on
that
all
we maybe
cross-border
don't
oil
know
and gas
dead
deals.
under this rowley government. We sure somebody dead Friday after we leave Saturday while we end up in the wrong place at the wrong time. Sunday yesterday, somebody must go into the grocery. They're going to rob. They pick up the stray bullet. That's where it's called. Everybody got the rowley. But you go ahead.
Well, tell what's going on with the CNN. Lennox. They come. Tell my house for me last night. What the heck is going on my music?
Wait. The PNM sent a bat in your house last night? Yes. I tell you that the zombies. Yes.
I tell you music yesterday because I love the little fucking time. It's not really I have tell me music. I tell them that you're wrong with the thing now because when I like a neighbors around, I read it down a little. Just catch myself. I see this black thing flying around in my head, boy. I said, what is this? I get up and I see it like it's a bat. I say, well, what kind of bat is that? That is it PNM. Because when I myself, they don't want me to talk about myself, but they send me out, flying all around in my house. And I try to see the next bedroom, and I come up and pick up. And I'm trying to
EBC gets $61 million more for 2025. Clint Chantak. 16 hours ago, the Elections and Boundaries Commission's head office on Frederick Street, Port of Spain. File photo by Ionic and Sal. The Elections and Boundaries Commission, EBC, has received a $61,121,595 increase in its budgetary allocation. This information was contained in the draft estimates of recurrent expenditure for fiscal 2025, which were laid in the House of Representatives on September 30th. In fiscal 2024, the EBC received an allocation of $70,913,405. This was increased to $132,308,000 for fiscal 2025. Inside of the $132,308,000 figure, the allocation for election expenses was increased from $4,681,045 in fiscal 2024 to $47,945,000 in fiscal 2025. During fiscal 2024, local government by-elections took place in Indian Wak/Lengua and Quinam/Morne Diablo. The next general election is constitutionally due by August 2025.
Eventually, I'm getting back outside. And I said, everyone, because my Lord is real, and my Lord, the PNM can leave. The PNM can leave. I have so much to say, but how many people are chance? I will come back in the next hour.
You see where that start all there? I don't know. I calling out everybody. I saying good morning to this one. But I seen the phone only ringing all there. I say, well, boy, then we come and say they ain't hearing we on Facebook or they ain't hearing we on YouTube something that we ain't hearing. I say, well, this had to be important. And you see how important it is? The
Yes.
PNM Senna.
Yes,
That's in Miss Laukata house. You know?
yes,
Oh, good. Nice, nice. These are good start to the program, man. Let me get this program started, man. I like that.
Right.
Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Bang, bang.
Well, boy, I was going to start back to hail out the hundreds of you that already lock on this morning. If all your name ain't call, it's because the PNM send a batten all your friend la Hoketa house. Yeah, a black one too. I don't know if that was Rowley, but we know it was a bat. So here it is. Send all your voice notes. You want to know what going on over the weekend? You also want to know what is the motor toll? How many people dead Friday, Saturday, Sunday? Who might be dead this morning? And they will continue because the detection rates in Trinidad and Tobago is at so low that they are so emboldened that they are positive they can kill and get away with it. That is how dread it is in Trinidad and Tobago at this point in time. So while I wait, for a matter of fact, I want to take calls early too. Because I want to hear
EBC
over the
hit
weekend.
$61
It was a
million
long
more
weekend.
for 2025.
What's your front
Blake
burner?
Chantak. 16 hours
What's
ago, the
supposed to
Elections
make
and
news
Boundaries
that
Commission's head
did
office
not
on Frederick Street,
make
Port of
news?
Spain. File photo by Iona Consal. The Elections and Boundaries
Let
Commission,
us know.
EBC, has received a $61,121,595 increase in its budgetary allocation.
You get a home
This
invasion.
information was
You know somebody that get a home invasion. One of your families and them get killed. Stray bullet, wrong area, in the wrong place at the wrong time. I don't know. I'm just asking. Right now, we're still waiting for the bus because your iPod in your ears. Listen to the #1 program. The bus late? Well, let me know now. Let me know. Rainfall in your area and it flood out? This morning, a child ain't going to school because the school bats start to fly all over the school. Or the school air conditioner not working. Or who do air condition? It real just hot for them children. But you went to get your ZDAP medication and you can't get it. You don't want none. And you have to take your pension to buy your medicine. I don't know. Or they tell the pit bull. They went to the public pharmacy, whether it be at Monctop or Shogunas or Arima, to get your pills, you needed drugs in order to keep you alive. You're a kidney patient, you're a heart patient. Them tablets and them real expensive, but I know where the heart patients and them one is monthly, and them one is 2,000 something a bottle, 3,000 something a bottle according to where maybe the condition of the heart. Well, you're complaining that your whole pensioner was to go and buy medicine because the public pharmacy don't have it, but 3-point-something billion missing. The government borrow over $70 billion. Oh God, they spend nearly $1 trillion. We can't see a cent. What is your issue this morning? They spend about $20-30 million on a probe for the dead divers and the family members of those divers ain't get sent yet. Oh God, but lawyers get money. ex-judges, or whoever's the head of these bull caca institutions that has come with in order to bring fairness or transparency and accountability to the people. That them bull caca thing that are manipulated, including the EBC, that going and go under a new system to thief the elections. May you know? All you had to tell me, look at things coming off my head. And yet still little people out there saying great is CPNM. Great is CPNM. The last person come close to the pit bull and say great is CPNM. I hit him one clout.
Bang, bang, bang.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Oh God, they're going to say the pit bull is talking violence on. He say he cloud something. Look. Children listening. Look, the pit bull say the last person you see how the wicked. Because the man say great is the PNM, the pit bull hit the man by. That is wrong. I am saying because of bad governance in this country, it become legal to hit somebody one slap when they say PNM or great is the PNM. But that is political, yeah? So let me correct myself because only know the law letters will come.
Bang, 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 bang.
All you know that. Well, just for today, the pit bull will be absent from about 7:30 or so. One of our next directors will be holding on. But I know the issue. The issue is we making sure, teach one another, share. How much of you already share Real Media TT? Or corridor transformation. We need to get as much people as possible being a part of this army of people that want to live better, this army of people that saying we deserve to live better. Oh, they hear that? As them baby born, they come out the door supposed to see red or not mark PNM. When they see the Jesse sign PNM newborn babies, they start to cry for their life one time because they know they're dead before they even start to live.
Ground Report with Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Let me say welcome to those of you, the new ones that for the first time look on to Real Media TT or the Ground Report program. Welcome to the number one program in Trinidad and Tobago. I'm yours truly, the Pitbull of radio. In the picture on the left, will most likely maybe on your right. Man, the man in the glasses in white. Lennox make the big word. Man, sometimes I make a mistake and I say the big wood. Man, wood I say no, when they come with the 4x4 wood and them kind of thing. And then I had to get corrected to know he's the big word. You know, all I listen to it, eh? So don't complain. Word, the big word, man. And now the pimp, sweet man, coming on the program now, showing up his chest button down, all kind of thing like he looking for, man. I don't know. But I just observing. He opened his chest like he want to check track flies. That Lennox Smith.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Yeah. So let me see how much voice notes it have by the meanwhile. Then I will go through the little papers by the meanwhile. Oh boy. Let me see. Well, I'll make some calls by the time too. The lines are open. What's on your front burner this morning, Trinidad and Tobago? What's on your front burner? Oh boy. Yes. Well, just give me 1 minute. Let me just hook up this Bluetooth to make sure you the 3663053 that you all are getting us, or you could have your contribution. Yeah. Nice. All of the lines open. Let me hear how this morning going to start. What's all the front burner? I only hope no bat income because that is only lock at our house. But if anyone all else bat going in on your house, you don't see what PNM doing this little woman. The torture she phone, the PNM sent a jump in this woman phone, it wasn't working. She cast out the jumbie. And the PNM come out she phone, we hearing she loud and clear. Now, last night the woman in peace, they sent a black bat in our house. Right? I only hope the rest of Ole didn't get that, because that is a very serious thing. She have to say her prayers right now. Do ever let a PNM bat come in your house. When a PNM bat reach in your house, everything going and crumble. Yeah. So Miss Lakota, she have some prayers to say. Make sure light some incense. Right? Light some incense. You ever about parchment paper? You had to write on a piece of parchment paper. PNM, get out my house. You had to throw some corn. If it's anything, you could always call Mr. Tabakit. They say he's the biggest over man. That would they say I don't know nothing about that. Right? So let me go to the line. Somebody else might have a problem with pre-their larceny. Somebody could be planting the crops and they leave a pepper tree full with pepper. Baigan full with baiga. They say, well, hey, this morning I'm going and reap my benefits of my hard work. When they reach there, they see every tree crying. Branches bend down, the work. Everything gone. Then instead leave one pepper for a man to say him eat it, to burn your own mouth. For not lying down in the garden, waiting with some cutlass or something to chop up them people who come, all they politically chop up. Oh God, you know when they're saying, man, I'm going to go to the lines and see before you see, I start to cuss on the radio here. Well, on live here. Morning, caller. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Lennox Smith. Good morning to you, Mighty K. Good morning to the listeners of the Ground Reporter. Andy Williams, that lady who see that bat in flying in she house, yes, the People's National Movement, they send them gems and them evil gems and them. But what she need to do, she need to trap the bat in her room and catch the bat. Curry it. Yeah, she need to curry it and put it outside by she door. Take 7 pepper leaf and put around it. And the person who send that bat must come in your yard. They must come in your yard to eat that bat. A person who send it. So all you need to do is to catch that bat and curry it, put it outside with 7 pepper leaf, and the person who send that jumbie by you will come to eat that. You do that. But what are my friend burner, Andy Williams, and listeners of the Ground Reporter? My concern is what's going on in the People's National Movement. Because the Honorable Opposition Leader, good morning to you, ma'am, mentioned in Parliament Friday, telling the government and telling the general public that, hello, am I on?
Live and direct you are.
Yes. Telling the general public that there are pedophile ring in the government. And that is something to be concerned of. Dr. Rowley, as Prime Minister and Head of National Security, when we expect him to launch an investigation immediately in that pedophile ring and ensure that stop and people be arrested. Because to be a pedophile is to be interfering with little boys and little girls. You know, Dr. Rowley gone in a political meeting and telling the people when he moved in the prime minister residence, it had a blockage and Wassa people find a set of female underwear in the washroom. Dr. Rowley, what you doing in the female washroom? What you doing using the female washroom? And what going on in that prime minister residence 10 years for it to be finding female underwear? Just now we will find young boy jockey shorts. Because if the opposition leader telling the general public and telling you as prime minister and the head of National Security Council, there are a pedophile ring. You're not doing nothing about it as prime minister. You're keeping a blind eye. Why are you keeping a blind eye to the things that matter? Little children, when I hear that cry, that little baby crying, what you just be playing there, I hear any little boys that the opposition speaking about. And the prime minister not doing nothing about it. The national security minister not doing nothing about it. The youth affairs minister not saying anything about it. The gender affairs minister not doing nothing and saying anything about it. All they're doing is releasing statistic. 4,000 little boys was molested. And that is what they're doing. And they're not doing nothing about it. Why are you not doing nothing about that, Dr. Prime Minister Rowley? Why? What type of prime minister are you? Just know, to be knowing, and you just saying call name. Call the name and them. Since Akil Chamber died because of that same thing, what, that's a pedophile person do that? And children in this country must continue to be in bug, rape, molested, teenage girls, underage girls who in home getting pregnant, and our government not doing anything about it. Why? Why? Dr. Rowley, can I ask you a question? Are you encouraging those things? As a citizen of this country, I am asking you a question. How it is for 10 years you are prime minister and not one pedophile or one person who interfere with these little children and them being arrested and jailed and pay for that crime that they committed? Under your government, the Buggery law passed. Is it because you all enjoy what happening? Or is a PDD party? Thank you, ground report. I feel it's a PDD party, you know.
Oh boy, a PDD party. The PNM smells like a PDD. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Next caller. Well, coming by the time. Good morning, caller. Where you calling from and what's your contribution on the ground report this morning?
Good morning, Andy. Good morning. I'm calling from Santa Cruz. Good morning to you, Lennox, Mikey, New Cuff, and to everybody out there. Andy, I said let me call early this morning because I have to go and finish Pete. Andy, but I have a renewed energy this morning when I heard COP. No, you want to tell me that is all. We always know that Rowley was a vulgar, disrespectful, dishonest man. You wait 9 years to come to tell people about underwear in the female toilet, right? Just like how you lie and you said that they didn't have water in the official residence, and when they checked, they see the valve was still off, so Kamala could buy water from her friends. Dr. Rowley, I'm telling you, you see all these lies that you keep talking about, all these, I go to catch up with you, you know. It is going to catch up with you. But I want to ask a question. Is the female toilet near to those stairs that goes down in a dungeon on the red couch? I want to ask that question. Why is this man so nasty and malicious, our prime minister? The man has nothing good about him. Like they was searching in the garden and they take a rake and rake here. The man has nothing good about him. Nothing good comes out of his mouth. But our next one I want to deal with this morning is Dinesh Rambali. I am so ashamed of Dinesh Rambali, who calls himself a pundit. That man could never be a pundit. And disrespected Mrs. Pasabi says so in this month, in this time of Naratam, where the Hindu communities they worship the well, they pay homage, I would say pay homage to the Hindu goddess and them, Mother Durga, Mother Lakshmi, and Mother Saraswati. And that is what you stood up in Parliament and have PNM thumping this and what it is that you were saying. Dinesh Rambali, you're a disgrace. You're just like Keith Rowley. You are no difference. It's best you go and join the PNM because I'm absolutely sure he has a place for you. But I warn in the Hindu community, Mahasabha trying hard to take over the UNC. Don't allow that. But just like Michaela Pandey is a PNM party group, they support the PNM because the never got a contract with PNM, and suddenly this new set of people take over, getting contracts from the PNM. That says a lot. If all they don't want to sit down and be aware of what it is, but just like McCain, but don't allow them. Don't give them your vote. They're here because they go. They love Sunday is a PNM of the PNM. As I said, just like Michaela. Any vote for Michaela is a vote for the PNM. Only don't realize that. That is what all they want to do. And Andy, I want to ask another question here. This morning, this is morning of questions. Questions
Yes,
and
yes,
answers.
yes.
Yeah, this is the morning. Why did Stuart Young wait after 4 years to come to tell the nation that Roger supplied false document? Is this email gate number 4? Just because he heard on Friday, Mrs. Pasabi said that she's speaking with the union about workers' rights. Suddenly, he come to tell the people that all the documents Roger submitted for the Petrotrin refinery were fake. But you know what? Friday passed, Saturday passed, Sunday passed. It is near 7 o'clock Monday morning. Where is Roger? Does Roger have an answer for that? Or is it that Roger can't talk at all? We want to know, you know. We want to know, or is it he's going to let Stuart Young, who they put in office, get away with that? And if he get away with that, you know, in the absence of information, there's speculation. Well, we are now going to talk and say, Roger, I'm not saying it to Andy, I'm asking, are you a fraud? Did you submit fake documents? Andy, that is a bad accusation against Roger from Stuart Young, you know. Real bad accusation, you know.
That
And
issue,
to
that
know,
issue, that is trouble.
yeah, that's trouble.
And not only that, if it is, I know that I did not put in false document. I had done been backing after that news come out one time. All now them done get the letter, the legal letter ready.
Let me tell you something, because lawyers work overtime. They work overtime, right? And he spoke right after Mrs. Pasabi said, sir, he spoke about 2 o'clock, or could be a little bit later, but he spoke right after her. Why didn't Russia do something about it? Well, we are waiting and we are looking on. We are waiting for a reply to see what it is going on in this place. Because you can't come and tell me you made such a bad accusation and you're keeping yourself quiet. But you see, I will finish off by saying this. Rowley has nothing, absolutely nothing to campaign on. Right? In 2015, they campaigned on the spirits of Eric Williams, and it looks as though they want to come back on the spirit again. Right? That is what they're doing. They're campaigning on the spirit of underwear in the female toilet. They have nothing to campaign on. They cannot come to the people and say, I have done this or that or the other for you. I have made your lives better. I've made security better for you. They cannot come and say anything. So that is what they're going to do now. With their lies, they have to, their innuendos and their propaganda. People, be very, very aware. Thanks a lot, Andy, and have a good morning. Take care.
Thank you very, very much. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yeah. This is what I want to hear, man. It's nice, nice. Let me know, that's it. What we get from Burner so far. From Kunji. Come what we get from Burner. Serious issues. Very good points from both of them from Anaram Sammy, better known as Santa Cruz. I have some voice notes to play in a little bit. But let me keep the lines open. What's supposed to make news that not making news? What's your front burner? What people need to know that they don't know. And for all the new people that are locked on, welcome to the Gong Report. I'm Andy Williams, better known as the Big Dog, the pit bull of radio. Yes, and I could bite you through the microphone. But bad for the right thing. Stand up for the downtrodden. The less fortunate. People that don't have that force, that power to fight. Give them that hope, that spirit, and let them know they my people too. To fight. Morning caller, but fight for righteousness. And as
Andy,
good morning to you.
Andy, we have 19 people who want seat in the UNC, right? And there are things happen in the constituencies that they represent and the people who vote for them. And there are things going on in these constituencies, and none of them are doing nothing about it. Whole time they're cutting off the water and saying they're fixing this and they're fixing that, right? For about 5 or 6 days last week, they cut off the water in Granny and they say they're fixing something. I want to know if these people working day and night and getting paid 24 hours a day for them 5 or 6 days. And how could a person be working 24 hours a day? And if they're fixing a pipe, they can't leave it and go. There's somebody has to be working to be fixing it. And here what I'm saying, Here what I'm saying. I vote for these UNC people who are in office. Right? They're getting pay, Andy. They're getting pay. And what they're doing to represent the people who vote for them, not because they're not in government. Well, get up all the skill and go and see what's going on with the people, man. Well, they're getting paid. Taxpayers' money paying all the 19 people in the UNC. And the latest one I have for you, right? A little boy commits suicide from Princeton, right? The mother saying she go to different people and complain about it. I want a lawyer. Look, Tamla Pachad Bisesa run for SIL. She's a Queen's Counsel. I would like her or somebody to take up that matter and follow it up and prosecute the people who she went to and did nothing about it. Secondly, why so much of fighting going on in school? They're showing it on video on the phone, and the police are doing nothing about it. What's really going on in this country, Andy? What's going on in this country? All the UNC 19 members, all the get up all the backside and see about the people's business, man. Oh God, man. All the getting paid to do what? Thank you, Andy.
Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Oh boy, oh boy. Let's continue. Nobody in Coleman tell me much dead. The way is it dead toll now? It's gone over 500? Well, let me know, you know. So let's take our next call. Morning caller. Morning caller. Where are you calling from? What's your contribution in the Gong Report this morning? Listen to the phone. Listen to the phone. Good morning, caller. Yeah, hello. Morning to you. Oh boy, let's listen to your phone. Well, listen to your phone. Come on, listen to the phone, Miss Roadbrook. I see you calling there, girl. Forget the radio, the gadget. Put your ears on the phone and just you go hear me saying morning and just talk to me through the phone. Don't talk to me through the iPod or the TV or what gadget that you hook up to, right? Nice. And anybody that calling, please, so long as you're coming, getting with the call, just move away from the device that giving you that have your lock on live, right? All right, let me check back the phone there now. Nice. All right, Miss Roadbrook. Let me see now. Don't forget to do it. Morning, Miss Roadbrook. Morning.
To everybody. You know, Andy, that guy, he's not like an educated person. He's not about a person who knows about politics. Come on, man, mister. You know the UNC's areas are suffering under the PNM. They would not give them sufficient money to help to fix things in the areas. They're complaining in the meetings about it every Monday night. If you would listen, you would hear. The people are complaining now, getting money from the government ministry to help them in the areas. When the people partnership government was there, all the PNM blasted constituencies was getting money. They were UNC people was working in the area and they didn't suffer. The PNM constituencies was not suffering. But under the government now, UNC constituencies are suffering because they're not giving them the money. This man have to learn that. Don't tell people to get up their ass and go and do the work and the ministers. This man have to learn. Learn and listen, you can really understand. I'm sure you went to school. That is what the UNC is right now, especially with the election. The PNM is suffering areas and want no water. What kind of nonsense we get in? Man, go catch this. Look at my dad this morning. Thank you, Andy.
Yeah. Don't get Roadbrook vex, but I find she done vex already. She said don't get she vex. So if, to me, that sounded like real vex. And if I not vex, man, don't cross the next side of that kind of vex that I see there because she vex here. That's why she tell you, don't get she vex.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Bang, bang, bang.
This morning, everybody, vex with the PNM and you have all right to. There's a taxing, lying, thief in government. Why? This PNM government that we are here, led by this political piper. This man piping out the country, you know. They're selling out everything. Rowley and the bag of cornies as pipers, sprangers. And each and every one of us grow up and understand where is a spranger, where is a piper. Them fellas and them piping pipe.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Political sprangers. But watch. Political sprangers. The head ain't good. Understand Trinidad and Tobago, them fellas' head ain't good. They're not well. When you have a spranger or a drug addict or alcoholic and you have to send them rehab, all are showing all you. This government is a piping crack-headed, spranging government led by Chief Kunamunu, King Kakao.
Bang, bang.
A man that I can't say call the name. And they need to go to a rehab. Rehab coming very soon. Rehab is in 2025. Boy. When each and every one of you, if you have a family member that is an alcoholic, drug addict, go always want them go rehab. Well, we government, them is pipers, sprangers. There's political pipers and sprangers. They need to go rehab. The only way we to send them to a rehab center for them to get well. I ain't vexed with them that bad, you know, because I know they're not well in the head. The piping, the sick. And on the 25th come in. Well, the 2025. All the index finger. We go send them to the best rehab center for them to catch themselves because why? Them sprang out everything, you know.
Bang, bang.
Refinery gone. Sugar gone. Cocoa gone. Cane gone. TSTT going. The port going. But the piping we out. Wasa going. Clico assets go on. Short man making sure he get rid of the Dupre where he live. May he rest in peace. He dead. Black man build that. The people don't pay back. Pay back the debt. This got PNM hold on the people assets to gateway to the 1% boy. Clico own Republic Bank. Look at, we catching we aunt, uncle, nenen in Trinidad and Tobago here. And we seen the CPL is sponsored by the Republic Bank. Millions of dollars! Like we bank, like we money. And all the bank will give we in the community and say, hey, they're doing community service. But might do it with one and then lie and tell you when you write for them or help with uniform and tugs and things for sports with children. They go say, well, they already help X amount and write again and whatever. Real small money. Some of them they don't get no sports company, nothing. We money are to spend back to the English, the India base. India. The CPL Trinidad is owned by an Indian. From India. Plenty of them teams. And we bank, Republic Bank, we sponsoring that. Imagine that now, boy. When it have people in our club and get all the books for school. When it have children that don't have a square meal. An average citizen will go and try to get a loan to open a business. Republic Bank blank. Them bank don't get nothing. Click on true values. Click on Twin City Mall and all the millennium there with all that land. Click on real assets. It's a $1 billion company. What billions? All of that belong to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And call him freckle face, Chucky looking, man, devil looking, Chucky. He's selling out everything. We hear Twin City Mall, they say, like it's he buy it. All you understand that? Clico on Angostura. We're going to sell Angostura after our Caribbean start. Them? Kiko on our bank, they're going to sell it to the Ancient Merchant Bank now, Republic Bank, they're going to give it there. We own down to First Citizens Bank that we own. All we money going for everybody else, and we the people can't get nothing good from First Citizens Bank. All really understand the assets that Colin Mbert is giving away on the Clico. That is we own because it's CZ people company. And those assets is lucrative and making money. How could you sell something that is making money?
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
It's no different if they go organize and sell NGC, the National Gas Company of Trinidad and Tobago. Sell that making money. Sell that. Republic Bank making money. True Value Thy Food, them making money. The Mall Twin City was making money. Oh, everything the PNM touched that was making money. The refinery, petrol train, all it was still making money. We was energy efficient. We was producing jet fuel, bitumen, in fact. Jet fuel, diesel, premium gas, unleaded, super, natural, the one with the boat and them used to use. The dung products of what it is we used to do. Then what that refinery closing down? No, it wasn't. It did not. Anyhow, my two co-hosts, could you all organize and come on, please? You all know that I have an engagement to go on this morning. Very, very important. Let me take a call by the time. Look up to now, we ain't got the headliners and them yet. We only take all your headliners. Let me hear. Morning caller. Where you calling from? What's your contribution on the Gong Report this morning?
I just want to make myself clear. That's why God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. Listen, and talk less. And I said there are situations happening in the constituencies where UNC, I vote for UNC, right? But even though they did not win the seat, they are still getting paid and to represent the people, right? What I'm saying is there's a water problem. Whole time they're locking up the water for days, right? And the saying is pipeline. What I'm saying is, why don't the representatives go and see what it is really happening if it is true?
Well, the representative don't know it's truth, but I understand what you're saying. Because if I represent a constituency, if I am being paid by the people who want to vex with me, based on you clearing up exactly what you mean, and I am getting paid, I'm the representative, my people cry, I crying too. I will be out there mobilizing my people within my area, organizing for me to come out in a massive protest within the area for the lack of water within the constituency. I will do that. I will not be waiting on the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisesa or continue to hold on to that goodly lady petticoat. At the end of the day, plenty MPs and councillors need to make themselves their own man and woman. Show the people that they have some testicular and testicular fortitudes. To come out and fight with the people. Fight with the people on the grounds of what was told to you by Ms. Roadbrook, that they are suffering the UNC constituencies. She forget to tell you too, and the corporations and them. And that is truth. But in that suffering of those things, that don't supposed to stop no MP, no councillor from coming out and standing up with their people. It's an elections here. And I'm going to tell the people the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Some of them have to show that they have that fight. That fight. It have people looking forward to see elections here. And I'm going to tell the people the truth. Party could be a Kamala Prasad Bisesa. Not every party could be a Barack Obama. But every individual, so long as you're representing a people, a constituency, and they are the people that give you the opportunity when you swear on the Bhagavad Gita, or you swear on the Bible, or you swear on all these various godly books. You swear with them to represent and fight for them. Understand? So how you come across, brother? You really come across like, okay, but you clear it up. On the grounds of UNC MPs and councillors and things being able to do their own thing or do what they have to do for the people, and the PNM suffering the corporations and the MPs and them ain't doing nothing in the area, you are truth. But on the grounds of you wanting your representative, if it is your place flood out, his constituency or her constituency, or the Burgesses, councillors, bridge breakdown, media larceny, bad roads, and that is the situation you expect your MP, your councillors to come and stand side by side with you and push you to continue the fight. Partner, that is a representative that I, Andy Williams, the pitbull of radio, will be, if ever given the opportunity by the people of Trinidad and Tobago. You can't teach people to be leaders. It is what it is. It is what it is. I only taken one more call and then I'm going to introduce my well, I know Mikey's supposed to be coming on in a little bit too. Supposed to be joined with Lennox Smith. Because today, remember, we will be on our Guile the TV from live, yeah, from 8 to 10. So 2 more hours. And you know, we have to have that level of program as we are accustomed having. Let me take this call. Morning caller, where are you calling from? And what's your contribution on the ground report this morning?
Morning, Andy. Morning, Andy. Report here. Andy, thank you very much this morning, boy. Thank you very much. For the longest while, I'm waiting to hear one or you say the same thing that I was saying, that people tell me I'm lying and I'm making confusion. We have representatives, all right? You don't have no power. We have social media. Why you don't put up blame? Why? And this is why I'm saying, and all your number one caller side lying and making confusion. And you're supposed to come and meet me and do a video and let me turn up some of them belly with the things that I be saying. I don't come here to make no mischief. What I saying is what I seen and what I know. And then people go call and say you're bad talking the UNC. No, you're bad talking the UNC. You're trying to get them on the right track. Like all of them getting paid. Them getting paid. Why they don't come out and look for the people? Kadisha, I mean, block me for telling she the same thing. She asked her, how it is before election, or you just go and meet everybody. And after election, when you get into power, or you don't go, she said too much work. I said, so before election, wasn't plenty work. And they blocked me. Nobody's all right to hear me for talking the truth. So I just been making mischief and lying and making bacchanal. So thank you very much this morning, Andy. I was waiting with bated breath to hear one hour you come out and say the same thing that that man from Sandy Grande or wherever say. The man is bad talking them or nothing. He's just saying what they're not doing. They are we representative. And I want you to come, Andy. I want you to come and see the big motel tree in the river behind my MP office. And people go say I'm making confusion.
All right. Thank you very much. But you put it across like I am all making confusion. And there's not a matter of no confusion. There's a matter of the man was mixed up. He was. And I giving him all right if it is. He wrote in the community bad and wanting his representative, the person he voted for, coming out there and protest with them. They have no water in the community. That have nothing to do with PNM and running no money in the constituency. That have everything to do with giving the people the strength. Come out with the people. That's all. So you and all don't put it across in that kind of way neither. I'm sure everybody get me loud and clear and understand exactly what I'm saying. But look at these lines now, boy. And I have to make my exit, eh? I'm still waiting on Michael Kerr. Mikey K. I can't leave until I'm seeing you at Lennox Smith. But by the meanwhile, you might be saying, but hey, wow, this man pulling me out. Yes! Yes! Oh, you just tell me, don't leave Lennox Smith too long by himself, too long. And you just tell Lennox, don't leave Andy too long. And I'm saying to you now, I don't want to leave Lennox Smith by himself with Andy, and then, no. I want Lennox Smith with you, Mikey K. Because this morning, for the both of you connections, and with our director, there's a new director, you know. There's a new director had to organize this today, you know, Lennox Smith. I seen your face. Yeah. You can hear his voice, everything, but only ain't gonna be able to see him. But here where it is. I don't know if he's a PNM. I don't know if he's a UNC. I ain't know whatever. All I know is he's very, very smart. Yeah, he's smiling. So come on. Let me hear my partner voice before I go. Let me hear my brother Lennox Smith. Don't take too long. You go have your time now. Don't take out in my time. I have at least 5 minutes again. Don't jump in my time. I just want to hear your voice. I want me and you to mesh while we waiting on Mikey. So make sure you call Mikey. Send him a message. Lennox Smith, you heard the people cries this morning. A pleasant good morning. Look how he dressed this morning now. Well, I know he catch one set of fly last week, but like he looking for a new set. Look at that. He on tight and also. Watch at that. Look at the shirt. Aye. My boy out for sale, boy. Oh God, ladies, he's out for sale.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Lennox Smith, a pleasant good morning to you, my brother.
Well, of course, a pleasant good morning to you as well, my friend. Are you hearing me loud and clear?
Loud and clear.
Yes, indeed. Of course, a pleasant good morning to all and sundry, east, west, north, south, central, our friends in Tobago, and wherever you are, streaming on the World Wide Web. A pleasant good day to you. Yes, I heard some of the comments, all of which are very valid. I heard your, of course, what I consider to be introductory. Some say that that is your major plank for setting the tone for the program this morning. But whichever position you take, the fact of the matter is that we had a very sterling performance of the opposition leader, Kamala Prasad Bisesa, and as we predicted all the while that she would have presented, of course, the UNC's budget, which, of course, with all reviews, appear to be the budget that people will gravitate to, and, of course, setting the tone for next year's elections, if it goes that far. But I mean, realistically, we just have about 4 more months in the year: October, November, December. Just about 2 more months, in fact, 2 more months and some weeks. So one expects that clearly elections will be held next year. I want to make it very, very, very clear, and I cannot overemphasize that the ground report and, of course, members of the team will be having what I consider to be a bird's eye view, and, of course, meticulously looking at several institutions. Quite apart from the government, we will be looking at the EBC, and I read to you, of course, last Friday, a letter that has already been sent to the EBC. If I have the opportunity, certainly I will read excerpts of it today, and of course during the course of the week we will do some critical examination. Of course, in addition to that, we will be looking at institutions connected to the EBC, or put another way, the EBC may have membership in certain regional and international organizations connected to the administration and the superintendent of elections. Well, yes, we will be writing to them as well, having regard to the critical concerns that would have been contained in that letter in particular. Of course, I'm writing in the capacity, however, in this case, as the political leader of Love Laventille Outreach for Vertical Enrichment, but of course, that being as it may, does not take away the fact that my nexus or connection to the ground report means that therefore I am privileged, and of course it is incumbent on me to, of course, share that information with the team, and of course by extension you, the general public. So things are waxing warm. The madness that is the present administration. I heard I read parts of Sort Young's presentation, Webster Roy's presentation. I had a look at some of the budgetary allocations, particularly for Tobago, and of course the concern that Tobagonians are saying it appears that it is fiscal emasculation, having regard to the allocation for Tobago, 2.5, I believe, billion dollars, and of course just about a couple hundred, not even 100, about several millions for just other things, as Trinidad will, as the budget is usually divided into what is called recurring expenditure and the PSIP, the public sector investment, and very little for investment. However, what we observed is that there are a parallel allocation through various ministries controlled by by central government for the administration of or delivery of certain projects in Tobago. And that once again belies Dr. Rowley's position at one time under the UNC, when the UNC had created a ministry for Tobago affairs. Remember that? And I think it was Baker would have been the man responsible. Dr. Baker would have been the man responsible for that ministry and delivery, of course, of services there. When the PNM was in charge, Rowley was strident. And in fact, when he came into office in 2015, he scrapped that ministry. Here it is. He has gone back to that very thing. And of course, but it has become stereotypical of the man is par for the course. So we know that he's a total and absolute hypocrite. We know that he has been engaged in public office, utilizing it for victimizing political enemies, or what he considered to be people who are of a different view from the PNM or different dispensation, and at the same time turning, of course, and continuing to, of course, demonstrate that the PNM has morphed, has metamorphosized into a criminal enterprise. And of course, I cannot lose any opportunity to make reference to just Balize House alone to, of course, emphasize, or should I say,
unfair. You said
yes.
unfair and flitters.
Yeah. Let me hear.
Tell him, man, go just now. I have 6 more minutes. I say, boy, you are all the time after you and Mikey here. I just want to settle in you.
Yes, well, of course, I had that on my chest, and that would have been my opening salvo, and I cannot overemphasize, and I plead guilty if it is that I would have extended beyond what you might have interpreted to be my introduction. But you were a bit preemptive there, because I was going to close with that aspect of it, saying categorically that the PNM has morphed into a criminal enterprise, and therefore it must be jettisoned at the earliest and first opportunity. Of course, that appears to be in 2025.
Nice. So what will you do is just take down this number, put it on your computer. You'll give, besides our regular numbers, which you have it, which is 255-6644 or 239-5120. This number here, they could take WhatsApp calls, and they could send a WhatsApp voice notes at this number here today.
That's a
only
different
that
number. Only for today.
Only for today.
All right.
681.
Just a minute, you catch me by surprise there.
Yes,
yeah, I'm waiting for
yes.
this, so let me just make sure and get some. All right.
That way,
you'll
be able to take WhatsApp calls sooner. Instead of
yeah, go ahead.
If we do this,
what's the
if
number?
we do this, well then, if we do this, then it will not have WhatsApp calls. It will only have WhatsApp voice.
Go ahead, give me the number.
681. So everybody take the number one time for your WhatsApp calls and send your WhatsApp voice notes to this number. 681 78 32.
It really recent,
that's just,
but you hesitate to call it, so it shows how recent it is. All right, I hear you, my friend. So 681 7832.
Yeah, that's the WhatsApp number that we call today, and send the voice notes to that number.
Great. All right.
And that's just for today.
Today only, yeah, because you would be unavoidably absent at a certain point in time. Yes, I recognize that, and of course I wish you all the luck in the world on your venture. Right?
Yes, and normally others be around.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Of course,
Yes,
wherever
yes.
you are, the technology, of course, it provides us with that kind of, should I say, flexibility.
Yes, yes. Oh boy.
Yes, indeed. So people, the lines are open. You can make your calls, of course, and you have a new, for today only, a new voicemail number that you can express your own concerns and or front burner issue in the comfort of your bedroom or sipping a cup of coffee or drinking a cup of juice, depending on your preference. I'm a juice man. But whatever it is, the fact is that you are able to conveniently rub off and erase, and at the same time, of course, take your time and send us a nice voicemail so that we can air it subsequently. So the lines are open. I'm not seeing Mikey as yet, Andy.
You didn't see them yet? All right. So try and go. Have your number. Let me give you the number. Will you WhatsApp in and call in again? Yes. Will you send in WhatsApp calls at 681-7832, 681-7832, and send your WhatsApp voice notes at the same thing. Right. Mikey K will be joining you right now in a little bit. Mikey. So what we're gonna do? I'm gonna leave you with this caller, Trinidad and Tobago. As long as I'm finished early, I'll be back with you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, in a little bit. So let's take this call. Morning caller. Yes, yes, yes. Go ahead, go ahead. Call the landline while I switch this, the next number. Morning caller.
Hi, Andy. Good morning, Lennox.
Good morning.
Go ahead and hi. Go ahead.
Hi, good morning. So let me tell you, I just bought a new car. So my friends and them tell me, oh gosh, the car driving so nice. But I'm going to tell you, the road, so comfy. The car like it ain't driving nice anymore. Why are we taking this in this country? Why are we taking this? What is going on inside of this place? Why are we all sitting down? Let me tell you, Trinidadians always some real cacahole, you know. Rowley's a cacahole, always cacaholes, you know. Because always sit down and lay one man with a little bit of jackass behind him. Affect the whole country. And always sit down taking it. You understand? And always want to talk about other people outside. Always the jackass, Trinidadians is the jackass because they're taking all this shit. You know, it guys be irritated to just even be in this country, boy. Always let's go. Let me go. And you'll have a good day. Have a good day.
Thank you very much. Oh boy, oh boy. Right. All who call in WhatsApp, will you go and get it now? Will you go and get it now?
Call the 339-5120.
Oh boy, oh boy.
You can call me tonight on that, but we're on the ground report now. 339-5120. Sorry. No. 239-5120. 239-5120. Yeah, you call that number, right? And it will be addressed.
Nice. Lennox Smith, you're live there on the phone there, boy. But Trinidad and Tobago, go ahead and make the calls while we hook up the
somebody calling me.
Okay, Lennox Smith, remember you are live.
The corridor,
You have to, let's complete the phone just only if it's Mikey answer. Outside of that, don't answer nobody else unless it's Mikey. Or you see me calling to say something. So let me check the WhatsApp line. Let me check the
just
WhatsApp.
omitted to mute my mic. That would have.
And what's your contribution on the ground report this morning?
You sharing what I'm saying.
I want to talk about the bullying in the school where led to this boy committing suicide, right? Let me tell you something. That bully boy belongs to a brother of some notorious gang, car dealers in Princess Song, right? And his father contribute good to this, heavy to the school, right? And this boy have about 27 suspension pending, right? Out of the 27, he received 4, right? And they live right near the school. Even the child that lost his life lived near to the school, right? And that child one day, that bully boy followed that child straight to the child living roomage, which is not far off the school. and threatening him not to come back in the school and them sort of thing. And this is a serious thing, right? And I feel that something should be done about it. You know why? Because the school administrators, they condone this thing, and they condone the mother make several reports, and because of this fella father, he as I tell you, he's a brother of one of a set of brothers who is a notorious car dealers in Princess Town. You hear what I'm telling you? So this thing has to stop.
So it's more in the motor than the pestle, Andy. So there's clearly more in the motor than the pestle. Of course, one thing leads to another, and of course an escalation, and then of course a tragic end, which clearly must be ventilated, and people must of course learn from those kinds of experiences. Unfortunately, it has culminated in a death, but it doesn't take away the learning curve that is required so that people avoid these kinds of situations. So it's something of a bully, it's something of a level of frustration that has caused that tragic situation to occur. But at this time, as I say, I could only say more in the motor than the pestle until we get some additional information. Yes, we have another call. Do you have another call?
You go ahead, Lennox Smith. You will be told when it have any call.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Well, of course,
issues
that attract my attention.
You get a text to your phone. What's your phone?
All right, my phone. Okay.
What's your phone? You get a text to your phone. Hey, it have a voice note. Hey, it have a call.
All right.
So you have to just glimpse your phone.
All right, no problem.
Right?
No problem.
Look out at the
yes. Issues that
look for the same number. Look for the same 818 78 32 number. 681 in fact, 681. Send in a message to you.
7832.
Right. Watch for that day on WhatsApp. Say, but you have to watch. Okay. Hey, take a call. Hey, you have to watch while the people talking, right?
All right. People would have noticed that that should have been done before, but we are Boy Scouts in the true sense of the word.
You don't know what you're that at all.
And we adjust and we adapt. Yes.
Morning, caller. We are calling. What's your contribution for this morning?
This man, the podium, the energy minister, we visit patriotic for good, right? Enough is enough. We demand that they visit the bed. It have no way that patriotic would put in a bit to fail. We demand that. The refinery belongs to the people. We don't want our refinery to slip out, meaning it slip out into the hands of foreign interests. We want it a national interest. We demand that the government revisit patriotic's bill in support of the oil refinery. We demand that. I mean, if you have the march or whatever we have to do, we demand that. Thank you very much.
Yes. In fact, Andy, that was the caller that called me that you saw me on the phone. I thought it would not have taken away from doing that, and I directed him to the ground report, so he got the opportunity so to do. So that is what we are all about. We are adapting, and of course we are adjusting as we try to meet as much people as possible so that they express themselves. And I want to tell him, I think that you are on fertile ground. We of the ground report believe in the same principle position, even though we may have our beef with the way Roger had managed the entire situation. But of course, this is not time to, of course, look at water under the bridge. What we need to do is to move forward. And clearly, the government has taken a position to cast away patriotic, having regard, of course, to the revelations by the Minister of Energy. Unprecedented and unexpected when he said in all certain terms that there was a fraudulent document that was submitted by Patriotic claiming that some $1 billion was transferred to some institution by way of electronic transfer, which proved to be false. And of course, Patriotic has stridently denied it, and they said that their financial backers are well in place, and that they demand, well, they stopped short of asking for outright apology, but of course the minister was steadfast in his position. But of course, it appears that he is not prepared to say it on a podium outside, because of course that was also challenged by Patriotic. Why not say it outside so that at least they could take relevant legal action to clear their names, because of course that is a serious indictment. But of course, persons like us in the media on the ground report are very, very concerned, because of course, if that is the position of the government today, it smells the usual sinister and should I say unhealthy atmosphere, because it is clear that Patriotic has become the government's bugbearer and an enemy, because of course we know that in the early stage there was a lot of fanfare in the parliament saying that Patriotic was the preferred bidder, and that they were prepared to put up 700 million upfront, but the government was so generous at the time, even though it needed money to clear off the so-called 850 million US. They were prepared, of course, to postpone that from getting into the treasury and give them a moratorium and give them the oil refinery at that point in time. How come no talk about any falsification and or fraudulent document came up then? Only because, clearly, because Patriotic was in their favor at that point in time. And I go further to say that only when Rowley and they recognized that they would have achieved their objective, that is to say the entire cabinet conspiring to close down Petrotrin because of Dr. Rowley's intrinsic involvement in the fake oil matter, having regard to what he would have said, rather than contacting the police or his ministers, talking about Minister of National Security and or energy. He contacted the owners instead of AV Drilling, and that was the center of this tragedy, and the subsequently, in spite of the fact that there were at least 3 reports that did not mention the closing of Petrotrin in the way that it was eventually done. Eventually, we just heard out of the blues that the government of Trinidad and Tobago closed down Petrotrin because at that time they were central to the reasoning was that 850 billion US bullet payment that was supposed to be paid by the ensuing August. But however, we on the ground report were saying, well, you had the option of renegotiating these loans if it is that was the issue. But clearly, it turned out that it was not, because they eventually, in spite of closing it down and in spite of saying, talking about that bullet payment that was upon the exchequer, the treasury of the country, they went and renegotiated those loans, which of course they had the option to do in the beginning. So it is clear that by virtue of deduction, by virtue of elimination, the reason for closing down Petrotrin is that the PNM would have looked too politically non-favorable because of the involvement of Dr. Rowley and, of course, an insistent commissioner of police at the time to, of course, keep on the front burner the fake oil matter in spite of going to arbitration. But the question of attempting to defraud the government still remains, and today is the major criminal aspect of it, that clearly cold water has been thrown on it by a more favorable and condescending, I should say, commissioner of police. But the UNC will get into office, and of course these matters will of necessity have to be reopened, revisited, and of course justice will eventually prevail. And I have been saying in no uncertain terms that conspiracy by the entire cabinet of Trinidad and Tobago means that not only are they unpatriotic, and not only have they jeopardized the economic fortunes of Trinidad and Tobago. After all, we know that 80% of our foreign reserve, I should say foreign reserve, but foreign currency comes as a consequence of activities in the oil, gas, and petrochemical industries. And of course, as Imbert eventually said, after the closure, that the Petrotrin oil refinery was in fact making money when by that time Dr. Rowley's change of reasoning moved from, of course, that 850 million bullet payment US to now saying that they were importing, of course, 100 or just over 100,000 barrels of oil, and each one was caused or attracted a loss of 7 to 15 $15 per barrel, and therefore the government could not, of course, and that was on top of he's saying that the decision was to, of course, get out of the refining business. All of those were told to us when, of course, the Minister of Finance then told us that in spite of that 100 over 1,000 barrel of oil that was being imported, Petrotrin was a net earner of foreign exchange. What that simply meant is that in spite of that expenditure upfront for the raw material, the oil itself by barrels, after they did the refinery, the Petrotrin was still making a profit, and that largely because we have a arrangement with CARICOM to supply, of course, so we have a captive market, so to speak, a monopoly literally, to provide, of course, products from the refining process to these islands in CARICOM that, of course, are not blessed with, of course, that commodity. So it is clear, the case is clear. A rookie coming out from the police academy should be able to, in quick time, investigate this matter, get the documentation, and of course do what is required in order to bring this entire cabinet of Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, led by him, to, of course, a criminal end, blue lights and silver bracelet, as Rowley would like to say. So I am clear in my mind that they have jeopardized Trinidad and Tobago's fortune, and I say so from the perspective that in spite of the fact that, again, they asked us to wait until 2027 in the latest iteration of their nonsensicality, their incompetence and impotence and clear corrupt and nepotistic conduct. We have a situation where they have, of course, created a scenario where people cannot get $50 US in the banks today simply because of those actions that they would have taken to protect their personal interests. In other words, put 1.5 million people in jeopardy because they want to protect just about 24 or 25 or maybe less than 200 persons who want to stay in government under this administration, of course, effectively creating what is called an auto coup. That is to say, getting into government, a party, in this case the PNM, and using, of course, state apparatus to stay in government. We saw it, of course, with the THA elections. We saw it, of course, with the local government elections. So we are clear in our mind that the evidence is so overwhelming that any, as I said, any investigations ensued when the UNC would have come into government will certainly result in blue lights and silver bracelets for at least the members of this government, including Dr. Rowley, for its iniquities against the people of Trinidad and Tobago, jeopardizing our future, our children's and our children's children, as far as the development and enhancement of Trinidad and Tobago is concerned. Good morning, Mikey. Morning, Mikey.
Morning to you, Lennox
Yes,
Smith. Good
yes,
morning,
yes, my
and
friend.
to all our good folks out there. Yes, you're powerful, man. You're going at it. Morning to my brother Andy Pitbull Williams. I know he's out and about. Of course, welcome to Pedro. Pedro, of course, technical director for the day.
Yes, indeed.
Pedro, is there any calls?
Well, just to say, just let me give them the numbers to call for new callers and for the regulars. I know that you always like to get some kind of regurgitation, some kind of reminder. 239-5120, 239-5120. You can also get us at 225-6644. 225-6644, and of course only for today the WhatsApp number where you can deposit your voice notes is 681 7832 681 7832.
7832. That's right.
Yes.
So again, you can send and you can send it to the other number, and that will of course be brought up to the WhatsApp number that we're using here as well. But
All right.
you can of course 681 7832 681 7832. Send your voice notes, send your WhatsApp messages this morning to that number, and of course the other numbers are up and running. Let me say good morning once again to the good people out there. We are, of course, expected to be on Gael in a few minutes, and we are going to run you until 10 a.m. this morning. That's expected. That's what's scheduled. So again, the good folks out there, good morning to you. And what's been happening? A lot to discuss.
Oh yes,
Lennox.
quite a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
I believe that there's clear evidence that I like to use the Latin expression non compos mentis. But this entire government appears to have gone, of course, mentally deranged, because I cannot understand the logic in about 2 or 3 instances where, of course, Dr. Rowley said that if, for example, Kamala Prasad Bissesa's proposal for an additional $5 on the minimum wage will cause businessmen to lose their businesses and the people to engage, of course, in activities that would subvert, for want of a better term, that initiative, meaning that they will cut down people's working hours. Well, I was wondering what $2 would do. What $2 he proposed, so his $2 will not affect that. But Kamala Prasad Bissesa's $5 would affect that. I simply cannot understand the logic. And not that he doesn't know, because we have had the experience. Because remember, when his Minister of Finance was giggling all over the place, saying that he raised gas 2 and 3 times, and he going to do it again. They were hoping that, or suggesting to us that businessmen are so patriotic that they wouldn't raise anything. And of course, and that is transportation. We are talking about a critical component in the commercial activities in any country, in any economy. And true to form, as we were saying on the ground report, but of course, transportation fare raised, of course, transportation of goods and other commodities raised, and as a consequence, it had the ripple effect of the increase in prices of every other thing. But he is telling us that Kamala Prasad Bissesa's $5 addition to the minimum wage is different from his $2 increase, and therefore the same players and the same businessmen will respond, should I say, better, and not raise or create conditions where they could save $1 when he introduced $2 as opposed to Kamala Prasad Bissesa's $5. Hold your tail, Rowley.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, it's been quite a weekend. I mean, here it is, you had Stuart Young standing up to talk about fraudulent documents. I mean, you bringing that up now? I want to ask the question, that threw up a red flag for you? But all that was said about Jindal and 2 of the companies that you've shortlisted to purchase the Petrotrin, nothing showed up? You didn't see a red flag with them at all? The fact that many of them have questionable transactions and services that one has to ask what's going on? I mean, here you utter rubbish. And then, of course, you told us a story. You went, of course, and you told your people, there's a story that you need to know. And this is he talking to supporters, of course, because he knows exactly the audience he's talking to.
Oh, yes,
and he's telling the supporters, he took them back to a time to when he first moved into the compound, that's the diplomatic center, with his family, following the PNM victory in 2015. The toilet inside the Prime Minister's residence stinking up. Why isn't it working? Why is this thing not working properly? Bathroom area very safe. Calling Wassa came and started to trace the sewer line. Wassa opened it to clear the blockage. You know what blocked up that pipe? Ask the Wassa workers which compound they ever worked on and cleared a blockage that was a whole mass of female underwear. That is what we have been putting up with in this country. That is what we've been putting up with in this country.
Yeah, but if you go back to the history of this talk, this I consider to be lewd and callous and morally depraved man under the talk itself. You would see that he gave a different story then, because that came up in the parliament on that occasion. I think it was the member for Princestown who went to town on him, and it turned out that it was a clogged pipe, but he was talking about water, not sewer. He was talking about water pipe, because he said at the time that somebody clogged the water pipe, the pipe that is providing water to the diplomatic center, because somebody wanted to provide the center with bottled water. Is that kind of hogwash this man? This man is putrid. This man should be washing his mouth with not just black vinegar, not just black disinfect, but vinegar and probably mixed with acid to, of course, get to the depth of this nastiness.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter is, you seem to have an obsession with female underwear, panties, or whatever the case may be.
Yes.
And here it is at this point in time. You are telling me that is what we had to deal with, making that an issue. Man, we had to deal with murder. We had to deal with record murders. Look at the numbers. We had to deal with home invasion, unbridled corruption. We had to deal with the fact that almost every independent office has been politically compromised. We had to deal with dead babies. And the list goes on and on. No, Rowley, that is what we had to deal with. While your obsession with lingerie and what have you, I don't know if it is when they give you cabinet notes, you prefer to read Victoria's Secret or something, or Plague Girl. I don't know. But the fact of the matter here is, at this critical point, what is going on in Trinidad and Tobago, that's all you have to offer. Foul mouth language, so venomous, so stink, so asinine. That doesn't even define you as a prime minister, as a leader. That's all that can come out of your mouth. Utter labasterian statements. That's all. I mean, come on. And people, we can't just sit by and allow this thing to just stay, because listen, this man has no respect for himself, his daughters, his wife. You think he has any respect for us? He has no respect for the opposition leader. No respect for women whatsoever. An open umbrella, groom them like a golf course, and people just sitting by and thinking that what? That is the way that you're supposed to talk as a prime minister? Come on, man. I hope they find panties. I hope they find bingo bags tie up in that election machine. Yeah, that $10 million, that's where my focus is. See that $10 million? Because you mounting a platform, you have nothing to offer. You know you're not politically attractive. You know the people not gravitating to you. You know your own PNM people, you had to beg them. They went on by Foster Cummins while you was talking, and they want to know if the bar open or if the chicken done. They don't have time to sit down and listen to you. This is PNM people, your own people. You have to try to catch them and then put t-shirts on them, because they ain't willingly want to put it on and come out the road. They don't want nobody knowing that they're supporting you. And at this time, the only thing you seem to have confidence and relying on is that $10 million for the EBC. And that is where the focus should be. They have nothing to campaign on. It's thief they're going and trying to thief. It's thief they're coming and to thief the election. That is it. Let's not play games. That is where the focus is. You have nothing to offer. Platform after platform, you're talking about panty. Who talking about fraudulent document? Who talking about after all this time? You now talking about fraudulent document with Roger and what have you? Man, come on, man. Look,
but
who's on the outside? Let's just take some calls there. We go up to 8 o'clock.
Do we have a caller?
Let me know, Pedro, if we have a caller. Give them the numbers there, Lennox, and of course the WhatsApp number this morning. Yeah, the WhatsApp number this morning is 681-7832. 681-7832. Give them the other numbers.
Yes, so call us, of course, right now, this minute, new caller, non-new caller. 239-5120, 239-5120, and of course the other number to call us at, to get us right now on air live, 225-6644. 225-6644. And don't forget, of course, only for today. Well, I understand you may be able to call the one that you are accustomed to, but let me just familiarize you with this one. 681-7832. 681-7832. That's the number to voice your concerns by way of voicemail. We have a caller. Good morning.
Yes. This PNM government is buying nothing for $10 million. Let me get that correct again, man. It's not $10 million. Like what he said. Right? They purchased spying equipment from Israel for $61 million. Right? They send out $10 million in this kind of time. That has to be running into hundreds of millions of dollars. Really tell the people the truth now. How much this thing really costs? And I want to say something on this radio station and to Mikey K and others. When you hear the PNM say they're going to do something, they're done to it already. Like 2 days. Right? And Mikey K, you're quite correct. I want to say something about God. Oh God, I can't say it. I'd rather say it the next time, but thank you very much, gentlemen. We want to know the cost of that electronic equipment. So we go back to PNM days in William from the voting machine back to electronic again. Same thing, same PNM. It's just get you worse and worse and worse. But we want to know the price of that. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Yes, indeed. And since we have another call, the lines are open and we take your calls at this point in time. But since you raised that issue last week, Mikey, I went to do some research as well, and of course last year the budget for EBC was just about $71 million. Well, that has of course increased, augmented, ballooned to $132 million thereabout. So clearly. There is always something sinister with that kind of development, and as I said last week, there are other matters surrounding the EBC that is yet to be resolved, and through the Freedom of Information Act, I have of course preferred or submitted some questions to EBC that I expect that they will conform to the Act and respond within the 30-day period that the law prescribes. So we'll see how that is, how that develops. But very interestingly, indeed, if it is that you are saying that the Patriotic submitted false documents on this occasion, well, what happened when you were in Parliament and announced that Patriotic got, of course, the preference, the bid, winner, the bid, and then they were prepared, of course, to provide $700 million US upfront. But you said, as a cabinet, again, inimical to Trinidad and Tobago's interest, they are offering us $700 million, and you say no, wait until 10 years to pay, and all of that hogwash. And then today you are saying that the same organization doesn't have the wherewithal to qualify for the oil refinery. I find it very, very disturbing indeed, and stereotypical of this government, that when they identify someone as an enemy, as opposed to, let's say, AV drilling, you get a darling deal, and if of course you are not, then of course you eat the bread that the devil need, as far as they are concerned, of course they being the devil and everything so associated. But that is how the cookie crumbles. But I hold no brief for Roger, but I'm concerned about, of course, the membership of that organization. I think he led them to down a gum tree. I think, of course, he was very awful in his negotiations and allowed this situation to deteriorate because he gave the PNM too much opportunity to find themselves in the position that they have found themselves in, disrespecting, of course, and totally rendering the OWT, that very powerful symbol of trade unionism, to literally to be null and void and of no effect at this point
Yeah,
in time.
I think we have some more callers. Go ahead, callers. Go ahead, callers.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
And we had to look at the fact also that the Prime Minister in 2020 said that they're ready to sign off. They're ready to sign off on patriotic documents. So how you could say that as a Prime Minister, and after the election they say they just suddenly collapse. And that's fraud.
Yes.
What do you call that? If people in Trinidad say they're foolish, you say ready to sign, and everything all right, and everything. After the elections, and they win the elections, they say yes, sign again. Apart from that, we want patriotic bill to be visited. And we don't want to say that they look at the bill and all that, and they make it. No, we want transparency. What it is that patriotic doesn't have, that the other bidders have. We want to know all that. They didn't carry us down this rabbit hole again. We want patriotic patriotic bit to be visited in the interest of Trinidad and Tobago and for the people, right? Patriotic say once the company stabilize, they will open it up for you and me to buy shares into the company and become owners of this billion-dollar industry and not big business, and I find that a great opportunity. Now that the minister has flagged this, Minister of Energy flagged this thing in Parliament, it really focus on patriotic now, and this is good. This is the opportunity that we're looking for, so we can speak the way that the government need to revisit patriotic bid in order to get us be fine. Thank you very much.
Well, there's a statement from Patriotic in the news today that calls for the condemning of that process and restart the whole process.
All right. Go ahead, callers. Go ahead.
Go ahead, caller.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Morning, welcome. Give them the numbers one more time.
Yes,
go ahead, caller.
Yes, indeed. If the caller is a bit
hold on, we have someone there?
Oh, we have one?
Go ahead, caller.
Okay. Go ahead,
All
caller.
right, let us get.
All right, well, if not,
give all the numbers, Lennox. Give all the numbers.
239-5120, 239-5120, 239-5120. The other number to get us right now, whether you're a new caller or not, 225-6644, 225-6644, and of course for today, this number 681-7832. 681-7832, and that is of course to send your voice messages, and we will play them during the course of this morning's program. And
your
is
WhatsApp call
unavoidably delayed and is not with us.
Yeah.
Yes.
And your WhatsApp calls as well. So don't forget, you can send your WhatsApp. You can make your WhatsApp calls via 681-7832. 681-7832, and send your voice notes as well. Yes, good morning. Let me say a pleasant good morning to all our CARICOM brothers and sisters who are locked on across the region right now on Guile TV. Yes, it is the Ground Report, the program that has come into your part of the region, and you are now addicted to it. Yes, it is the Ground Report. And as well, don't forget, folks, Patriotic Meal. The Patriot Meal is this Friday, as we're putting the final touches to it. We will let you know, of course, all the pickup points. So those of you still wanting tickets, when you get tickets now, you have to pay for it right away now, because we have a deadline and the caterer is all set and ready. So please, again, you can WhatsApp 366-3053 later on today. 366-3053 later on today. That's Andy Pitbull Williams. 337-6940. 337-6940. That's Lennox Smith. And of course, yours truly, Mikey K. 494-0938. WhatsApp 494-0938. And we will make arrangements. You need to have your money on hand. Those of you, of course, having tickets out there, we will be passing to collect. So we are all set and ready for Patriot Meal. It is happening this Friday, October 11th. Yes.
Could we
so
say,
let me know if there's
Mikey,
any.
could we say all resources should be in place by Wednesday? All money should be paid up by Wednesday. We will deliver, of course, if you need the tickets themselves. And of course, from tomorrow, we will give you pick-up points or delivery arrangements. But certainly we want to have everything in place, the monies, the tickets and so on delivered, and if you wish to pick up yourself, well, you'll do that. If not, of course, we will
Tuesday
with that. Yes.
Tuesday would be a whole lot better. Tuesday would be a whole lot better, people.
That's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow. So and today. So between today and tomorrow, let's get it going.
Yes.
Let me know. You have it. Yeah. Morning.
Hello.
Good morning. Welcome. Hi.
Lennox,
Yes, good
Newbie, and
morning.
to everybody out there again, Andy. Lennox,
Yeah.
don't forget that you are collecting money for 2 tickets from me, but you are giving away 7.
Yes, yes, yes.
You're giving away
We are
the
for,
7
yeah.
lunches. All right?
Yes,
Don't forget
yes,
that.
yes.
Yeah, so anytime that you can come and but call me first to make sure that I'm home, right?
All right,
You know
I'll
I
have
am
my
on.
assistant do that. Yes,
I'm
and
always
yeah,
on.
she will come communicate with you.
Right? No.
All the people, in fact, I want to say that have made commitments. We will, between today and tomorrow, be making our rounds. So, um, not Wednesday, preferably, but if we have to go until Wednesday, fine. But Wednesday is definitely the ultimate. But today and tomorrow, certainly, we will be making the rounds to collect and to, of course, deliver. All right. I talk about the tickets. Friday
Yes.
is the lunch itself.
Now, what a thank the gentleman from Florida for giving me those 5 tickets to give to anybody that I choose to. So I give it to you,
Yes.
Lennox. You know better than me who indeed of these things,
Yes, yes,
right?
we're right
So
on George
no,
Street, so I can tell you there are plenty mouths to feed.
right. Now, Mikey, you remembered when the thing happened with Camille Robinson Regis and the handbag money, right? When she did not declare her source of income. The first thing Rowley said when he had the press conference at what? So if I buy underwear for my wife, would the bank go and tell everybody what I did? And as you rightly say, he has an obsession with underwear. You couldn't say a string of pearls. You couldn't say a designer handbag or a pair of shoe. No, you said underwear for your wife. If the bank will also come out and tell people what it is you did. He tried to make light of what Miss Handbag Money did. We all know she never declared a source of income from the bank, right? Now you're going to talk, but I have questions about that, Mikey. I want to know, when did Keith Rowley move into the diplomatic center? And did he visit the diplomatic center with anybody before he moved into it? These are questions we have to ask. Because you can't come here after 9 years and put down another lie like that. Oh my God, man, you're too old for that nonsense to be lying, so what are you getting by it? You know what has amazed me? These old men. Some of them, they have 1 foot in the grave and 1 foot out, and they could lie so. Come here and spew a lot of lies. Oh, come on, man. And you have Stuart Young following closely behind you. You waited 4 years after the fact to come here and say Roger gave fake documents. But I'm waiting patiently. What's the time? 8:15 and not a word from Roger. But Roger had mouth, all of them 2x4 men had mouth for Kamla. Who was the dragon? Where the lasso man? Where the lasso man? I want to hear him. What he have to say? That was a good boy, Roger. All you put Rowley in office. And you know what, Mikey? Today we are hearing them. Daryl Duku, Inshan Ishmael, Suzette Lauer, Roger, and the whole set of them. All who had put Rowley there. Today they're begging and pleading for Rowley to go. Begging and pleading that we get together and move Rowley. You see? You see? Because all you didn't appreciate what all you had. But all you take what all you get to know. And look at the lies that this man is telling. You know, I don't know how some people sleep when the night come, Mikey. How can they sleep when the night come when you come during the day and you lie so and in the night expect to have a good night's sleep? But then again, what you expect from Satan's spawn? Satan's spawn is sleep real comfortable. But you see, all of them, they're going to meet their portion. Sooner or later, they're going to meet their portion. And wait, all you're going to hear more again about what they find in the diplomatic center. Because he know he has to get out. He know he has to get out. He talk about Kamala family was eating out all the cereal and drinking out all the juice. What his family doing? Was it his daughter living their state expense? Didn't he renovate a room for the nursery, for the children? Did our taxpayer was buying groceries for them? But you talk about Kamala own. You talk about Kamala family. Keith Rowley, you're a disgusting, despicable man. And your time will come soon and God will deal with you. That's the only person who could touch you. God. Nobody else. Because everybody afraid is like crapo, it is like sort of a crapo back. be afraid to touch you. But you know what? God will deal with you. Thanks a lot, guys, and have a good morning. Take care.
Yeah, the man come across like a pervert and a total predator. Right? Apart from, of course, having political Kobo tendency. But that being as it may, of course, the lines are open. We will
I know
entertain calls.
we have some voice notes there.
Voice notes,
So
right?
Pedro, if we can get the voice notes.
Only ain't find it strange that patriotic took the time to condemn the old process about the bidding, but they have not come out and deny the issue about the false document. Why is it so? Why? How come they haven't held up a press conference and come out flatly and denied that issue about the false document?
Yeah, you working overtime, boy. Go ahead.
Andy, good morning again to you and Mikey, Lennox, and to everybody. You see, when you come here and you correct the lies, you just want to get vexed. And I agree with Woodbrook, although she's from Santa Cruz. Yeah, you living in Grandy, you know not a drop of water in Grandy, but you know the 19 UNC MPs not doing anything in the constituency. Are you psychic? Are you painter? That you know all what's going on in the 19 constituencies? So I want to ask a question. In the 21 or 22 constituencies that PNM have, UNC people getting what they want in there? You see, all leaders just want to talk, to come and say, I just call the radio station. You know they're sitting down and they're not doing anything. As I say, all leaders just talk. So I want to ask a question. In the 20 constituencies that PNM have, UNC people getting what they want in there? You see, all leaders just talk.
Hello?
I just call the radio station. You know this
I think we have a caller.
Hello?
Yes, caller. Morning. Trying to get you there, Pedro. We getting our feedback, Pedro.
Yeah, Andy.
Yeah, go ahead. Morning.
Lennox, because I didn't get time Saturday to call you. But let me load on this volume here. That's a hold on. I just wanted to say, Mr. Rowley, you're a man, all you just think about is underwear and bra. You have no concerns for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago and to better the lives of Trinidad and Tobago. We have a government right now in office that is 10 years in office, and this man haven't given us hope. No hope. Right? This man, when he came in power, he said, tighten your belt. The short box said, it only have money for 3 days. Then 1 minute he come back and he said the country is booming. The economy is booming. You know what I mean by that? It's booming with crime right now. Right? The city go burn down, but it's still jamming still. All of a sudden is the carnival, the finance carnival. You know? But Mr. Rowley, I just want to let you know, I'm following up this DD case in the States. And what he did to a lot of guys before they could join in. Mr. Rowley, you're going to come just like Diddy. Right? Today is your turn. Tomorrow will be Kamala's turn. And you're going to end up just like Diddy. Mark what I'm telling you. You see the wrongs that you're doing to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, you're going to have to pay for it. And pay for it, you're going to have to pay for it. And everyone going to see the downfall of you and your ministers. No wonder you said it is a mafia. And under mafiaistic code, we keep each other secret. No wonder you just go away and you don't carry your wife, but you carry Stuart Little. everywhere you go and you have this man with you, right? And the rest of them, right? I mean, those other guys who is alleged they call pedophiles in the PNM. As clearly as we can see, we see where Fitzgerald Hine was riding on a horse. The little child in front of him and he behind. Why that big stupid dunce with that dread? Why he didn't sit down in the front, guard the horse and have the little child behind? But no, you have to sit down in the back of the child. You have to prove what you is by your actions. Eh? All is like that in the PNM. All are going to come down just like Didi. Didi had a stud from in the 90s, the 2000s. You see what happened to him now? Now we have to pay for his life in prison. Right? Mr. Rowley, your days are numbered. You see God giving you grace. He giving you grace. He give you 1 time, 2 time. It's going to have a 3rd time for you. Because you can predict in 2027, we're going to have hard time. Yes, we living in last days and we will have hard time. But you talk like if you and your PNM will live forever, it ain't gonna work so, Mr. Rowley. Get that through your thick skull. It ain't gonna work so. You cannot predict the future and the God that I serve, he is able, more than able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we could ever think or imagine. You hear, Mr. Rowley? So you can say, tighten your belt in 2027 and have the people in more distress rather than giving the people a hope. You're going to come down just like Didi and all you. All you having all your turn today. Today, remember tomorrow coming. You don't know what tomorrow holds. Just remember, all your turn coming. And if more people say Kamala and Rowley is the same, I don't understand all you. And a lot of the Indians, the crime coming at our house, right? The crime coming at we house. But a lot of all your Indians still want to put Rowley there. A lot of all your Indians still want to put them there. Huh? I don't want to hear nothing, you see? Let me tell you something. I see the downfall of Satan. It is coming. Okay, Lennox.
Yes.
All right.
Miss,
Thank you. Thank
Miss
you.
Willa, you
We
can
have a
call
caller
me.
there.
Please call me after the program, or you can call now at 337-6940. Somebody will take your call. We need to get a contact with you to get some confirmation.
All right.
Yes, I want to thank, of course, the Florida contributor that identified Beulah as one of the persons to give 5 of the tickets that he bought.
All right.
For
We have a
the
caller on.
patriotic lunch. Yes, go ahead,
We have a caller on this.
Go ahead,
Morning, caller. Yeah, go ahead. Morning, welcome. All right, if you have some voice notes.
Andy, good morning. Orlando here. Andy, tell people, to whoever who he is, that he had a 2 mouths, 2 ears, and 2 eyes. Because he have no ears and no mouth and no eyes.
You're welcome. Go ahead, caller.
Good morning, Lennox. Good morning, Mikey.
Good morning,
and morning, Andy. This is Malcolm X here. My concern this morning about this moving of the cash to bring this thing that invert trying to put into this country, we wouldn't fall in for the kind of poverty we have in this country. Now, I really want a minute to tell Trinidad and Tobago and the PNM listeners who could remember the days, what we call the, in the war days, it had the card. You know, sometimes like, they can't remember when you get in the program to really deal with the issue.
Go ahead.
But we had a thing they call the ration card. Lennox, I want Trinidad and Tobago to remember the ration card days. Now, you know, and Trinidad and Tobago only really study where inboard really trying to stop this cash flow business to bring in this machine and this card that where the central bank will be running our affairs. And it's something serious. And here what I watching at. The Chinese people wouldn't suffer with that. The 1% wouldn't suffer with that because they preparing and them already started already. There's some name they call it. It's have a big name where he say in the budget he went to some country and they started to use it already and we can't be back out, way backward. But when you really check it out, the things that this government under the Minister of Finance and them implementing coal pot, bicycle and them things, you know, the Indian people organized. They wouldn't suffer this. They properly organized, the Chinese properly organized, the 1% control. Is we, the little African who pulling bull, who selling a little tolum and selling a little thing, only take into consideration what it is. This man really coming with this ration card, especially who still alive as PNM. Tell all your children what was the uses of ration card. So we will know what to expect if Inbut and them really win this next election. And jump high, jump low, as I telling Trinidad and Tobago, we have to get rid of Mr. Inbut and this government, else it wouldn't be nice, especially for the poor and the oppressed. Right? Capitalism done gone mad already because in sour market, they raise light bill, they raise everything on the little vendors on them, and they raise on the poor. Where the old people like. And all of we who facing this PNM thing until we dead, Trinidad and Tobago, the Indian people is not the enemy. All you vote for the UNC and get rid of telling all us are PNM and get rid of input. Listen, that gone mad in this country, you know. All you listen, you know, don't let me feel, don't let me children feel, don't let me grandchildren feel. We have no leaders right now, you know. The African community have no leaders in Trinidad, neither Tobago. So when all you're watching are this black man prime minister, all you don't get tied up. That is just a gorilla suit. What all you're seeing there. I'm begging all you, know, take heed before it's too late. This cash flow thing where they come in to tell me you wouldn't have cash. So when people go in a taxi, we're pulling, what we're paying with. The lady was selling she little egg to send she children to school. We're paying she with the woman who picked 2 breadfruit from she tree and come by the road and sell. What all you paying she? And all you look how the mall taking over all the eating place. All you check and see what's going on. People all you wake up. This PNM thing, all you wake up. This government is not of PNM for who PNM was for the people with Eric Williams. All you go feel and it go be too late. So listen to the ground report and all you have a blessed day. The Prime Minister say, you know, we say hard times really right now. What the hard times for? We, the little black boy and black woman, that is where the hard times really coming. Have a blessed day, Trinidad and Tobago.
Thank you so much, Malcolm X. Yes, everybody's going to feel it. The doubles man, the nuts man, you know, everybody's going to feel it, Pedro. Pedro, let me say, veo con Dios, amigos to you, Pedro. And Pedro, I know back home, your people are celebrating Christmas already. So, yes, Maduro have Christmas going on.
That is the power of a dictator.
Yes, to deflect. So don't be surprised. We had 3 months of carnival coming up.
Yes.
You know, something we can't have elections because the war has gotten bad, all going on in the Gaza, Iran, all kind of stupidness. All kind of nonsense.
Let's try that.
All kind of nonsense.
But you notice, Mikey, that it appears that Puget Corner has been abandoned. Not only did it not they occur, that is the post-budget, after the day of the speech itself. Normally, they will have their meeting at Piggers Corner, but of course it was moved to the Belmont Community Center. And of course, it is not speculation. They were, for two reasons. One, they couldn't pull the crowd that they would have expected to fill that corner. And secondly, they were afraid that, of course, that crowd that met them in St. James during the course of the local government elections, they were afraid that they would descend at the corner as well and tell Rowley where to get off.
Yeah.
A pleasant good night.
I think we have a caller. Pleasant good morning. Go ahead.
Yeah, pleasant good morning.
Yes. Caller, stop listening onto the device. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah. Hey, Lennox, watch your phone and see when people call about Andy leave that instruction for you. Mikey Felix, boy.
All right,
yes,
ahead,
Felix.
Go ahead. Out of my control.
Go ahead, brother.
You forget me.
Felix, I passed Saturday, you know.
You pass and collect it?
Yeah, I passed Saturday. And I left the stuff there for you.
Oh, well, I'll tell you, call me on the other number so I will know when you pass. All right, I didn't know.
Yeah, I passed. I thought you passed back. Thank you so much again. So he's, of course, tickets. Those of you, of course, once again, WhatsApp 366-3053. Send a message to the Pitbull, 337-6940. Send a message to Lennox Smith at 494-0938. Send me a message, but we need to wrap things up as we head into Friday with the Patriot Meal. We are breaking bread across Trinidad and Tobago, and of course, all for a worthy cause. Right now, we are on Guile TV. We're going to be running until 10 a.m. on Guile TV. So all of these things, of course, there's a cost factor involved. So we are doing what we have to do. We have no big shot, nobody. We are just doing our thing to make sure that we bring it to you. This is what you want. You see, when you listen to mainstream media, they're obsessed too with female underwear. And they just going along with this thing about a lie, fraudulent documents and all of these things. But only here on the ground report, we will connect the dots. And I've heard many people with their concerns about cashless society and their concerns about what they're going to implement. But before we even reach to all that, we have to stand up against the EBC. Is the EBC a friend of democracy? Is the EBC a friend of our basic civil liberties? Is the EBC about fair and above board free and fair elections? They have to answer to us. I don't care who they sit down with and they meet with. We, the people, you have to answer to. Because you cannot be hindering us from living better. We want to live better. And what is standing in our way now is the EBC. We can't even say PNM people, because let us just explain to you, they have to have it in a smaller venue. PNM people ain't coming out. PNM people realize it's hitting their pocket too. It's hitting their purse. Although they have that Balize party card, they are not immune from the madness. So it is the EBC, $10 million. Tell us why. Who's on the outside? Morning.
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 Up there.
Hey,
Yes, Silver, go ahead.
Yes. Understand in Trinidad and Tobago, we are being disrespectful by the Prime Minister. He disrespects every single one of us, from woman to child to father, everybody. Now, when he come and he said about woman that is underway, and people clap, what about the woman who clapping about the same thing? These people are being disrespected right in front of their face, and they're clapping for that. They're clapping. But all you have to remember, Rowley is once a man and not a child. He's a child now, right? And we have to stand up for our rights. Trinidad and Tobago, what is wrong with us? Says I asking, what is wrong with us? We can't be talking here every morning, something after happen. We can't stand up and let these people do what they want. They want to have a cashless society. As Malcolm X say, I want to buy a mango. How would I buy a mango? How?
This thing was in Africa and it was failed. It failed. It couldn't go through. But they want to control you. They want to control everything. They want to control your house. They want to control your money in the bank. We will not have nothing under this government. It's time. It's time to get up and come out. Put all your boots on. They have to go. As Jim Reese say in the hymn, all of them have to go. We have to go. Let us stand up and fight back. Well, right now we don't have nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. We only sitting there and talking every morning and talking big talk and big talk. It's not putting us nowhere. We are reaching nowhere. Right? We have to be we. We have to stand together. Indians and Negroes, we have to unite. Indians and Negroes, we have to unite. And this is where we will win the battle. We can't be separated. When you get up in the morning, when you remember always your prime minister, you just only have bad feeling. We just only have bad feeling. We have to bring back Kamala Prasad Bisesa as our leader in this island of Trinidad and Tobago. We are suffering. The people is suffering. But like suffering come like nice thing to them. They don't understand they're suffering. Somebody have to tell them they're suffering. And when we're only gone, and may he and his party rest in peace. Thank you, Trinidad and Tobago.
And that's a Tobagonian island that Rowley is from, speaking that way. So what about you, Trinbagonian? Well, Trinidadians in particular. All of us are Trinbagonians, yes. But Rowley is from Tobago. And here it is a Tobagonian speaking in such glaring and very, awful terms about Dr. Rowley. We go back to the lines.
Go ahead, caller. Go ahead. Morning.
Yes, good morning.
Lines are open. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Go ahead, caller.
Yes. Yes. Good morning. And
Hello?
probably you could tell us where you're calling from, so we get an appreciation as to what part of the country or the planet you're from.
Yeah, there's a call from the Twin City here.
Okay, go ahead, Twin City.
Mikey, Andy, and Lennox. If the power class of people, like the CPEP, URP workers, don't understand what is taking place here, guys, the EBC is the largest area at which we have to work into and make sure and get things organized with them. The URP and CPEP workers, it's $50 million for entertainment. These people in there, and hand me $2.50. So one day to understand that, look at that, and let that sink into them. Thank you.
Thank you. Well.
Yes, indeed. We have another call. Don't forget the numbers to call. Don't forget the numbers to call. 239-5120, 239-5120, 225-6644, 225-6644. If you want to call us now, you can get us today on this WhatsApp number, 681-7832, 681-7832. Leave a message, and of course we'll play during the course of the day. Pleasant good morning.
Morning.
Yes, good morning. Good morning.
And we don't have just to let you know, of course, and to share with you that in this article here, while citizens, of course, morning. Go ahead, caller.
Go ahead, caller. We give way.
Yeah, Silver Fox, you forget one thing, but when Rowley said, I went Lake for Manning, and they stand up in the crowd and they clap.
Yeah. You're so right. It says, according to Alwari, while citizens who have paid their property tax will now expect their roads to be paved, their drainage cleared, and other amenities in working order, Faris Alwari, the Minister of Rural Development, says municipal corporations will have to prioritize work based on urgency. He was speaking to reporters in San Fernando last week after the 2025 budget was read in Parliament. Alwari said property tax will soon go to the corporation's statutory fund so they can use it for a variety of purposes. He said government ideally wants it to go towards developmental projects to supplement drains, retaining walls, bridges, footpaths, facility maintenance, cemeteries, and what have you. For the Ministry of Rural Development and Local Government, establishing areas of economic activities is its focus. This man could talk one, anyhow. He said property owners last paid this tax, right? We know that. Obviously, you cannot fix a pothole with no money. You cannot fix a drain, pavement, and pay for garbage collection without money. So we are providing a direct linkage between the tax generated and giving it back to the corporation. So you can at least and incrementally get a better service because you can pay for it, he said. Boy,
We have to examine clearly what is this statutory fund or element that he refers to, because if people are going to the various uh, tax collection centers organized by the Board of Inland Revenue, then one would expect that these monies will go to this consolidated fund. So is it that they are going to, when they get it separated and therefore put it in some special fund, the statutory fund, and then of course telling us that it has to be prioritized because he suddenly recognized that all of the various corporations are not of the same size in terms of the ability to collect, because there are some areas that are densely populated and therefore would be able to pay more taxes because of that density as opposed to rural type regional corporations. So they have to reconcile that, and that is what we were saying all the time, that is not a durable way to generate that kind of transformation that they spoke of, because they give us the impression whatever you collect, you will be collecting it first and foremost, and whatever you collect, you use it. But that in itself is inequitable, having regard, of course, to the population distribution in the country.
Well, there you go. And he said that while some municipalities may pay more than property tax than others, he said the Ministry of Finance has to work out a formula to make the tax allocations to corporations equitable. He said that with 91 million already collected and more taxes coming in, corporations that previously complained about a lack of funding will have more money to spend on developmental programs. All right.
Well, how that is so when you took away monies from various corporations to put it into CPEP and or URP. It's a contradiction. It is not consistent, and therefore the integrity of the process and the integrity of these people continues, of course, to loom large and questionable. Because if a simple gesture, it is not yet implemented, and you are talking that kind of language, or you are acting in that way, I could well imagine that it was just a political ploy.
This man like once at a time talk, real verbal acrobatics with real verbal acrobatics with this man. They ask him if he said, for instance, like Mayaro has very few houses and a very large land area. So if you only give them what they generated, it would be unfair. There will be a formula which the Minister of Finance will work out, of course, to manage and deal with this, how much you get, because it will be unfair in some instances to deprive a less densely populated corporation of money, saying that you only have 10 houses. So that is all you are getting. And then they ask him if this requires taxpayers' patience and understanding. Awari said there has to be a conversation and transparency. He said corporations should let people know how much work is required, how much money they have, and how they plan to apply it. They see the reason they are paying their taxes. Boy, listen up. We have a call.
We need to explain to the population, because just as how one can easily be confused. I'm sure that those who are less aware as to the shenanigans of these people, they
Yeah,
can be, it can be even more
but
complex for them.
explain what? I mean, long story short, that not much planning went into this.
That's right.
Again, not much planning went into
That's
this.
right. That is
This
what we
is
have to tell the
after the
people.
fact.
Yeah.
And our warrior is known for verbal acrobats. He's known for his verbal acrobatics. He's known for that. You know, this is a man who talks and says absolutely nothing. What we're looking at, and so what we're trying to do is, if you look at filling that capacity and knowing that and all that set of rubbish, and at the end of the day, there's nothing of substance, nothing based on what he expressed, absolutely nothing. Just labasteria, nonsensical, asinine rubbish. That's what comes out of his mouth because he himself doesn't know. He can't articulate. This man was demoted, you know. This man is a former AG, you know. Now he running up and down with this set of tight clothes everywhere. This and this had to. I mean, what are you telling us? You're telling us that we have to prioritize. Listen, I think we have a caller.
But it's not
If you have a
his
caller,
job.
go ahead.
It's the Minister of Finance has to do that, not
That's
he.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Good morning. Good morning, people.
Caller there? Morning.
First thing before your man has to tell us, we have what, 14 corporations or 16 or something like that.
Yeah.
Tell us how the money has been collected in those areas. Firstly, so we have 14 corporations, how much this corporation, and then we could think about trying to help out the less fortunate thing. Because you know what we were saying, all of them that try to not pay taxes, they will take my tax to pay them. And that I work in now to what's called. Because I think when get a letter of administration for mother property, I want to pay property tax on that. That's what we have to find out. Now, I want to talk about small things. I parliament take fraudulent documents from patriotic. First question I had to ask him, hope he's not coming with another email later, because he say he's going to talk about it in Parliament and outside. So I was listening attentively the Friday night meeting in a small community center with about 25 people at check. He said nothing about that. So he's doing another email gate. No, if somebody trying to defraud the government, what do you have to do? Not take it to the police, and you know the police is friendly with them. So why not saying it outside? Because if it was, might have any idea of any correctness and thing, he might have said it outside. But I hope he take it to the police so they go investigate to see if somebody trying to fund the government of Trinidad and Tobago. That is a serious allegation the man thinking, you know. And I want the Honorable Roger to respond. I want him to respond with two mannequins now, a Oreo and a Chinese. No. The other issue I want to talk about is the TTPS. It have a big case coming up sometime on October the 27th, where it involves a DPP bouncing down a child on the party thing. And ACP charged the DCP. And you know the DCP is a big boy now. She's a big lady. But if people follow that case carefully, our colleagues closed the file on that, meaning no further police action. But the family went to the PCA, and then the PCA sent it to the DPP, and the DPP sent it back to MISA and them, and MISA, that ACP charged it. But the PCA report said they're supposed to have discipline that officer and bring charges against her. But I ain't heard the TTPS doing any sort of discipline. So it looked like the discipline they did with her, the promoter, just like all the police in the police, and they catapult them into the hierarchy of the police service. That is why we have a collapse of the police service. You understand what I'm saying? So it have a lot of issue that small spin and KCR, the tax and government, trying to deflect. So I want to be at the police station when small pin kind the evidence so Erla could investigate. It's a serious thing. I'm going to have a nice morning.
Thank you, Cora. We are morning. Welcome. And go ahead. Let's hear some voice notes. Go right ahead, Pedro. And let me know when you're coming up to the last one. Go ahead. We're going to hit some voice notes now.
You have a caller.
All right, go ahead, caller. Morning, welcome.
Morning, sir. Calling from the Barakpur. Gentlemen, I don't know how much more black people, mainly African people, would stand around and be humiliated over and over and embarrassed over and over by the party that they support. People, like everything you have to read and spell for them to get to understand what is really taking place in this country. Let me point out some examples so they might get a little more clearer. Remember Country Club in Maraval, where they used to segregate and only have certain class and color people used to come in there to have until they come and they restructure it and things. What do you think is happening in China? What do you think not accepted $50 is really selling higher? Remember when Barack Obama come down in Trinidad, they put a big wall to block off the people in the big dam. Now, they come in and tell you, hear what? No TCT money is accepted in high. When Rowley have any big conference and thing with all the big boys they come in from all over the place and thing, you feel he want them to see these locals them see nobody bad, drinking and going outside and taking pictures and people having wedding and all this kind of thing. But all that kind of cut out. They don't understand it. We how this thing is operated. And this cashless society, when them passing in the Prado and thing and they see them, the man them watching, wiping the lamp, windscreen and selling the water and all this kind of thing on the highway. All that is to eliminate that. You feel them young boys walking with some kind of device in their hand. So when they watch the windscreen, they go wind down your glass and swipe the card and say, okay, pull out $2 or $5 in your account. All you have to wake up and understand what is taking place in this country. It's a big ethnic cleansing and a social divide that is taking place. And they're trying to segregate and disassociate so that they got show that they're attracting a certain class of people in the high-end. But a couple of times I went to Hyatt and I went Hyatt all over school and all this kind of thing. And they just have a kind of segregated type of occupancy with the people that is now watching. You see them kind of Caucasian kind of people Hyatt and thing especially. You come down and have a Hyatt in Trinidad and you see a man with a short pants and a slippers walking and down my band a pina colada or a virgin daiquiri or some kind of thing and all this kind of thing. I see that I used to look at as something will take place there. Long time I was in this I say if we not do something to start to segregate the community here. The higher network can pull up and just walk in and then you could sit down by the bar, you could go out in the waterfront and career girl and impress you. The water train could even go in the higher and impress some woman or something long. You understand? And look now it's coming to pass. Every single thing, and I gotta read and tell people what is taking place under the government, especially with him, what they call it trust. And that cashless society coming place and things. You all sit down the highway when they're passing up and down there, it's safe and say, look what I bring to my country. What do I have my people left selling in the hot sun? The mouth dry and they're selling water, they can't drink one because they can't afford own water they're selling. The pension goods. That's what so that's a big embarrassment. Every day when I drive the highway up and down and I see hundreds and nearly thousands of people hustling on the highway. And I say, boy, because Timbut and Rowley and them seeing this, how can I embarrassment for them? find some means. Remember that the company thing that now you can't sell on the highway with water charge and things. Well, they put people to the point now. A man will say, but you see me better get locked up. But I don't sell my water because that's the only survival I have in this country. And as I always say, before Rowley dead, one thing it's gonna do to leave the legacy. Because you know, we just only wait until people get the name all kind of start themselves after them. Before Rowley dead, what you have to do is the next highway from Arima to Tingo Martin to Point 14, it's critical recruitment highway. Because that's the only place Rowley has generated any kind of income for people in this country or to provide employment for people in this country. By having suckling on the highway. Right now, all the Venezuelans are selling plantain. Right now, McCallum are planting for $6. Not planting is $12, $14 a pound. Because the Venezuelans are buying out all the plantain and selling a little bag of plantain chips on the highway now for $10. And they're making more money than any. They're talking about doubles man now. They're making more money than doubles man. And all they're doing is just chopping up some plantain and frying it and selling it for things. A doubles man had to go and all China make their mango chutney, all kind of thing, and they're still complaining about doubles man. Oh no, Spain and they're complaining about the plantain and them who make it hundreds and thousands of dollars now. You understand? The people think about it. This place coming so segregated and so divided. It already has been that way for a while. And if all you know, wake up and understand where all the place would be. In this one, soon.
Thank you, caller. Thank you. Yes, voice notes. Go ahead. Run that, Pedro. Go right ahead. Andale.
Mr. Barakpo, every time you come on this program, it's only a certain racism about black people and that will get you nowhere. And for people who supposed to be, at least you claim to be educated, there's a blasted dunce idiot.
Andy, good morning. Good morning, Lennox.
So Bitcoin, artificial intelligence, protection for the farmers, and joining BRICS. That's what we need to see added to the manifesto, and we will be totally happy. And with that, I could almost promise you, if she make a big enough push, she will win this next election with those policies, because she's going up against the PNM, who has a pretty solid plan. So come better, Auntie. And another thing, Andy, I'm very disappointed in you people. So there was a meeting in Parliament on Friday, and just about none of you people in YouTube chat was in that Parliament meeting paying attention to what was going on. How are we supposed to become educated voters if we're not paying attention to what they're doing in our government? So the next time they have a Parliament meeting call, I want to see all of y'all in YouTube chat, in the Parliament chat, giving constructive criticism. Because apparently in the Parliament chat, members of the government are actually in the chat interacting also. So I encourage all of you guys in the YouTube chat, Facebook chat, whatever, the next time there's a Parliament meeting, to get over there and start giving your feedback to these people. Blessing, good morning, Andy. I would like to congratulate your program for doing such a splendid job. So Auntie Kamla at Parliament on Friday read out her manifesto, and it was very interesting. So it shows that the leadership of the UNC is actually listening to the program. So she talked about doing the protection for the farmers, which we discussed on the program. She could go a little further, but I'll discuss that on another time. She also talked about blockchain technology and artificial intelligence, which really got me excited. She needs to go a little further on the blockchain technology. She talked about the stuff regarding real estate. That's all fine and good, but we need to see crypto legalized, in order for us to like really take advantage of all the bad benefits of Bitcoin. And the next and final thing, the only thing, and this will make me totally happy, I want to see her make a push for having Trinidad and Tobago join the BRICS alliance, and that's it. So that's it. I'm pretty happy with what I'm seeing so far. Good job. Keep it up.
Good morning, ground report. St. Joseph here. Good morning to all on YouTube and on TV and everywhere, all the listeners. This property tax foolishness again. Al-Rawi is saying contrary to what the law was. The law is, as far as I remember, whatever money you pay is for your district. It's not for the whole country and then for the short man to decide where the money go in. It cannot be so. I would like to have some clarification from some legal people, because as far as I remember, your property tax is for your regional district. It is not an equitable distribution based on what the little man think he need to distribute. So please, can we get some clarification? And on another note, I would like to suggest to the UNC regional corporations to set the tone for how this property tax will be spent, and to have like end of month meeting online. I mean, you could prepare a video or whatever to report to the people. This is how much we were sent from the ministry. This is how much they said they collected. These are our priority areas. Anybody who has any other suggestions or objections, to make comments, and let the UNC start the ball rolling, and let us have a properly transparent process of how this money getting spent. Thanks very much.
Good morning, Andy for Granny. Mommy, you better go and take that bat and use it with TKR, yeah? Go and sign up for TKR and use it with them. Give me some bat right now. Have a good day, Andy. Good morning, Andy for Granny. Yes, the apple don't fall far from the tree. That is Stuart Young. He come in Parliament, he waste 5 years, before he can come out and say that all patriotic holdings have a false paper. Why he didn't call the false court for them, if that is the truth? He was falsifying documents to win a contract for something that they don't even have. All they like to tarnish and drag people's reputation through the mud. That's all like bacchanalia, PNM. Same thing the Prime Minister come and talking about after that on that way in the diplomatic center. Like if Miss Prasad Biswasa was staying there. He never himself lived there, the woman was never staying there. And you coming and talking about stuff foolish talk, and the people laughing in the back there. Most of them can't buy a bread to eat. And it's killing them out. Boy, all they paying them money like bacchanalia. Have a good day, Andy. I see a bookstore business named Mohammed, right, allegedly give money to build a swimming pool for the disabled community in Guyana. But Guyana don't need your help, sir. Them swimming in oil money right now. Why you didn't do that for the people in Trinidad, the disabled people in Trinidad? Build some swimming pool down here for the disabled community so that they will have a swimming pool. Guyana don't need your help, sir. But you're going across it to build swimming pool for them. Maybe I want to swim in some of the money over there, some of the oil money, so that's why you're doing it. Have a good day, Andy. Right now, man, this lady saying that all of we take a hole. Lady, before you get on like that about the road and thing, you should have take that money and fix up your papers and migrate from here. Because the road will get better, Not under the UNC, not under PNM. It will get worse. Because this country has no money again to fix nothing. Have a good day, Andy.
I believe that was our last voice note. I did hear the manifesto guy. Manifesto. I'm glad that you're starting to see, according to what you said, anti-cams making that move. But you have to understand something in all of this. $10 million, right, has been allocated to the EBC, my friend. So, you know, any kind of joy at this point in time, based on what you're seeing, is rather premature. You have to win. We have to get in. You understand? Good governance has to be restored. Transparency, accountability. That's what we're talking about. People who are going to be there to serve and deliver to the people of this country. That's not happening now. Okay? Our democracy is under threat. And Lennox, that to me, I don't understand, you know. We can't just brush this off. And when it is we get the aftermath of this madness, say, well, yeah, boy, they really thief it. Yeah, boy, you see what going, boy. One set of irregularities. We hear this report here, that going on in South. What going in San Fernando West. What is happening to Napuna? Wait, no, too late shall be the cry. Come on, people.
Out of an abundance of caution, clearly, action has to be taken. But I really appreciate the what Andy calls the manifesto Mako, for want of a better term, softening his position clearly as he is seeing, of course, unveiling before his very eyes. And we did in fact say, look at the response of the honourable leader of the opposition, and you will hear, of course, the real budget for Trinidad and Tobago. So I'm glad that he has softened his stance, having regard to the fact that the opposition leader was very extensive and very elaborate. Of course, no policy can have time within 3 hours or 5 hours by extent to, of course, express in totality, particularly if you're coming from the opposition perspective. But certainly what has transpired clearly is a transformation of his position, because he was very recalcitrant, he was very skeptical, and those are my understanding of his position as to the cryptic nature of the opposition in terms of delivering policies and programs in preparation for going into government. But I think that's a good sign and a good step. You're quite right, Mikey. EBC must be a focus. And I want to tell people that I have gone back to 2015 and, of course, 2020 to, of course, express through the Freedom of Information Act information, to request information from the EBC. Among them, of course, is whether or not Grand Bay, that company that just after the 2020 general elections was employed, was deployed, was contracted to get rid of ballot and other documents relating to the 2019 and, of course, just before that, elections. But more significantly, it was discovered by the police that 2020 documents were also in that bundle of documents, thousands of documents, bales of paper that was supposed to go for recycling purposes. And in other words, the point I am making is whether or not that was a case of getting rid of the evidence. And of course, it further shows extreme concern that the fact that observers, independent foreign observers, were not here, orchestrated clearly by Dr. Rowley, and we have information as a result of Freedom of Information Act as well, coming out from the Office of the Prime Minister, asking certain questions to suggest that that is exactly what transpired. So you're quite right, Mikey. There must be an emphasis because one cannot express or curtail their disquiet having regard to Dr. Rowley's, of course, move with respect to the impending then THA elections, when, of course, he went to the parliament utilizing his very slim majority to get an additional 3 seats there. And then the EBC moved into action and split up PNM, essentially electoral districts so as to gain the 15 seats consequent. But the people made up their minds. I expect the same to happen in Trinidad.
Yeah, don't forget, folks, the numbers to call. You can call for WhatsApp calls, 681-7832, 681-7832. You can also send your voice notes to that number for this morning to Pedro, who's holding in as our technical director. Again, 681-7832. And the other numbers there, Lennox,
Yes,
quickly tell them the lines are open. Give them the number.
239-5120, and the other one 225-6644. Very easy. 225-6644. So two doubles, and of course another double in the front. 225-6644. 225-6644. Very easy to remember. Yes, indeed. Of course, the lines are open.
And in the response to the budget, the Honorable Opposition Leader of Trinidad and Tobago, Kamla Prasad Visesa, SCMP, on Friday, she themed it, of course, a decade of debt, deficits, destabilization, death, and destruction. She made that very, very clear, of course, to that. He said that Minister Imbolc spoke for 5 hours and 13 minutes to announce a $2 per hour minimum wage increase to some workers and a 5% new offer to public servants. Yeah, he spent 5 hours just to get to that point. He said the minister joked about doubling his time to 10 hours. I would have preferred it if he had doubled the minimum wage, increased to $4 per hour, and the offer to public servants to 10% instead. He said, I take note, Minister, it takes a resolute disposition and steadfast dedication to be that tedious for 5 hours. He said, the minister spent over 5 hours reading the PNM's eulogy, fighting to convince the population, but failing to convince them of anything worthwhile the PNM did or is going to do. Imagine 5 hours of talk and nothing about lowering food prices. 5 hours of talk and nothing about senior citizens. 5 hours of talk and nothing about generating more revenue. 5 hours of talk and nothing credible about fighting crime and murders. 5 hours of talk and nothing about job creation for the thousands of unemployed citizens. 5 hours of talk and nothing, absolutely nothing, zip, nada, zilch about the $3 billion missing from the Auditor General's report. Scraping the bottom of the barrel for over 5 hours to find some achievement that the PNM could claim as its own. But the best the minister could find was that they changed 1,000 light bulbs. And she was so correct, so brilliant. At one point she said, listen, we are not in your cabinet, so choose your finance minister carefully. She made that clear to him, taking that hit to him, of course, when he spoke about domestic abuse, and the government himself is not in your bedroom. Choose your partner wisely. Said, not in your cabinet, so choose your finance minister wisely. 5 hours of talk and nothing credible. 5 hours of talk and nothing was taken away that any citizen can say that it elevated their lives, their community, and by extension, Trinidad and Tobago. Absolutely nothing after 5 hours and 13 minutes. And that is why the EBC has to be our focus. It is the EBC that is going to be used to deprive us and deny us our democratic rights for a free and fair election. I don't care how upset they get inside it, why they're saying that we ain't planning nothing. We could say because you're not transparent. You are not transparent. And then compounded by $10 million. And then you're saying you're going to implement a new election management system. All these systems that you put together. If you place a system by this government for lower food prices, that fail. All these systems and committee they put together to fight crime, that fail. All these systems they put together to make sure that our students get technology in their hand, laptops and devices, that fail. All these systems they put in place for better infrastructure, that fail. All these systems they put in place for better healthcare, that fail. So you can imagine what's going to happen here. You're talking about a new election management system, and you need 10 million for that. If you know quite well that you are the one that took away any sort of integrity from the EBC, it was you. the ones who have put into the psyche of the citizens that we don't trust the EBC, is because of you and your team, Rowley. All you have to do is run the system the way it's supposed to. That is not going to cost us $10 million. According to you, we've had elections here before, and we have had fair elections. What's the problem now? That you need $10 million so badly to put in the EBC. Why? People, we had to wake up and understand it. We can't cry after the fact, After the horse has bolted out of the stable, oh God, look what they do. They really think that they buy this one, hear the report. Look what them workers changed on that day. Look what go on in San Fernando West. Look what happened down there in this place, Maruga. Look what go on. We cannot come with that after the fact. We cannot. Get yourself ready. Get your shoes. Whatever it is. Get yourself in a gear. If you need a week to start back walking around the savannah, whatever it takes to stretch, we have to go to the EBC. We have to.
Hello? And you're quite right,
I think we have a caller.
We have a call.
Just
let's go to the lines. A pleasant good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
I want to find out something. How does a party knows when it wins before it is announced?
I didn't get you clearly, so could you repeat, please?
How does a party knows if it won a seat or election before it is announced?
That's simple, caller, quite simple. All they do is allocate $10 million to the EBC.
No, but the thing is, all elections, there are these agents in every poll from the special voting straight to the end, right? They are agents.
Right.
There is something called a tally sheet that each agent for each party give to their representative.
Right.
And these agents are from each party. So they are the first line of defense in any election, right? For their party. So this thing always be bantering about that it's fair and elections are thief. That's why anytime anybody can, besides when besides when Rowley lost, and they say they do the time thing, anybody else carry anything to election for court, they just do, because all these things, the first person is the agent in that booth there. That is who monitor every single thing in that booth. The agent write down and take notes. Right? They are, unless they don't take it, they come back.
Where does it go after that agent, sir? Please tell us.
No,
where does it go, that information? Where does it go after? Please guide us through the entire process. You go right ahead. You guide us through the entire process.
Right. An agent, right? A party agent is there in the booth. Everybody votes, so everybody knows there's a person there representing every party in each and every single voting booth. There is an agent of a party, right? In there. At the end of the whole process, the end of the day of voting, when everything is done, there is something called a tally sheet with each agent and each person in the election process have to sign. That is where when they count all the votes, there's a sheet that everybody pulls out. The agents are there from each party to see that the votes will count properly, that there are no mistakes done. You can call and say, hey, I missed this, let me check over this. They have no problem. They will check it over if they have a problem. Right? This is how a party would know. Let's let me say, oh, we see the whole screen yellow and then it comes red, and the whole screen red and then it comes yellow. There are something called agents, and they represent every single party are there, especially PNM and UNC, in every single polling station. There are something called party agents are there from the beginning, 6 o'clock in the morning, till the votes are completed count, and the agents themselves do get a tally sheet to give to their representative. That is how a party does know whether they win or they lost before it is announced. I was an agent, and I could tell you that is what has happened. You give it to your representative, and they themselves count together with the person, so they always know. That's why somebody could come and say, hey, we done party and celebrate, because they already know from the tally sheets and the information coming in. Now, this is not the official, go to the official places go to EBC from the person in charge that is the polling station, right? So this is how they does know. So when people say, oh, the thief and the thief, if they were thief, they would know from all the agents coming in, all the tally sheets. All right, my tally sheet saying 1 person about 100. The next, this will never happen because everybody has to sign everybody's tally sheet, and just in case that it goes into the book, so everybody has to report on. So the thing with the thief and the thief, I work many elections and it have nothing like that, never come up, nothing like that. Because of the polling agent which represents a party, is the first coverage of an observer. This is bringing to them the first observer.
First observer, yeah.
And the
All right, caller. Thanks a lot. Appreciate that, caller. Thank you. Go right ahead there, Lennox, man. Hold up there, Pedro.
But
Lennox, go right ahead.
Our concern is not the election day machinery per se, because we have had discrepancies, for example, in the last local government election in the Arima, and of course in the one that created the by-election subsequently, where of course people were saying yes, that this is a valid vote cast, and the other side is saying no. And as a consequence, of course, it was put to the test by the courts saying, or EBC saying, listen, let us have another election to settle this matter when there is an extremely close, if not almost a tie scenario, as in fact was the case here. But it is not there alone in terms of the stealing that we are concerned with. We are concerned with the actions of the EBC. For example, Dr. Rowley went, and I'm being practical here, Dr. Rowley went to the parliament with a slim majority, for example, in the THA debacle, claiming that he is responsible for breaking the tie. He goes to the parliament and, of course, adds 3 seats. Of course, in a kind of epiphany out of the blues, because it was that particular tree was subjected to further parliamentary subcommittee and parliamentary ratification. But he did it anyway. And here it is, expecting that the EBC will go. And what EBC did, EBC went essentially in Tobago and looked at fundamentally where the PNM is strong, and as a consequence, they found those 3 additional seats there. It is as a consequence of the people who said, listen, that kind of nonsense must not be tolerated, and they overwhelmingly voted no. If the integrity of the election day process, which you're quite right, everybody macroing each other, there is an election day dialectic, that is to say opposing forces monitoring each other's activity to make certain that the process is free and fair and free from fear. But that is not the only concern that we have. We have, of course, the whole question of the introduction of the possibility of election of voter machine in one form or another. We have to be concerned in the whole question of legitimacy in so far as the acquisition of either adding new in this case for the elections coming, new constituency, or the shifting of polling divisions. All of those are factors that are part and parcel of it, including, of course, the incumbent not or stridently, as he said, categorically in the local, that listen, I am not going to have any independent observers come to Trinidad in this case. Totally ignoring, pretending as though the Prime Minister himself was not involved in the 2015 elections, when he is in court records indicating to the chairman of EBC to extend the time by 1 hour. Up to now, we don't know what the benefit of that brought to the PNM, but he initiated that it ought not to have been. And then, of course, the Privy Council saying in no uncertain terms that the Rowley administration, the PNM, tried to usurp the right of you and I as the electors under the Constitution and the Representation of the People's Act to, of course, not only elect who we desire, but also at the time when they ought to engage in this exercise. The Privy Council is very clear. In such circumstance, do we not have a right to speculate and to say that Rowley and they are prepared to steal the elections? I cannot see any other inevitable logical conclusion, in addition to the fact that we have had situations, one of which has been scuttled, and that is the whole question of padding certain constituencies with, of course, the so-called your housing policy. The one comes to mind immediately is that of the one in Kurup, where, of course, the lands that were delegated for the purposes of agricultural experimentation was to be used, save for some discrepancy or some falling out between the contractor, Chinese contractor, that, of course, that project was, of course, abandoned. But the fact of the matter is that all of these tells us that we must be concerned. So it is not just the election day, as you referred to, but the whole process leading up to that exercise that has made the population very wary of the Rowley administration and the PNM in general over the years. I could go. I'm sure you would know about the voting machine and the scandal and the subsequent, of course, no vote campaign led by essentially Robinson, etc. So please, we know what we are talking about when we say he's prepared to thief the elections, and because he has no other credible mechanism to win that election.
Well said, Lennox. In 2015, the EBC extended the polls by 1 hour. That resulted in election petitions being filed. The Rowley government also acted outside the proper process to seek a resolution in the 2021 THA election crisis, brought about by a tied result at the polls. Rowley admitted that he instructed the EBC to create additional seats and redo the election. This was widely perceived as interference by the Prime Minister in the EBC's operations, diminishing a large section of the population's faith in the EBC's impartiality. The Rowley government was taken to court to call the 2023 local government elections. The EBC's administrative error in the Lingua Indian Walk 2023 local government election, which resulted in a ballot cast for the UNC candidate being deemed invalid. This is another irregular action by the EBC, which our court recognized as such, and all of this was outlined by the opposition leader Kamla Prasad Bissessa. So now you get an idea that is sending them out to say that there's no way that the election can be stolen. That is what they're doing now because it's hurting them. Yes. We are on to this whole $10 million scheme. If he can come and outline the fact that it cannot be stolen, that he believes in it, that he has all trust and confidence in it, then what do you need $10 million for? Just do it. It's not going to cost taxpayers any money. No extra money that's going to add up to $10 million. But the integrity of it has been compromised. The trust issue is not the trust factor of the EBC.
Yeah,
that's right.
Personnel and administration. Let me finally say this. That it was Rowley after the 2020 election. He had input up and down the place. Whilst people were finding, of course, ballot paper in Arima, etc. And as I said, I think during the week I will read that question that I would put to the EBC as a political leader of my own party, Love, to just reinforce that it's not just the election day machinery as such or that aspect of it, but is the totality of the conduct. Rowley was up and down the place when the issue was brought up about Ms. Nasser Scope being the family of former Minister Coffey. And he said to us that, listen, he don't know when she was appointed. He don't know her at all. But guess what? We then discovered that Ms. Nasser Scope represented the PNM government in Guyana as part of that team of CARICOM officials to look at and to resolve the Guyanese elections of that time. And Rowley went to Guyana not once, and you're telling me that he would not have, at minimum, been in contact with the representative for Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Cisco, but yet he comes here in the 2020 elections, after the 2020, and tell us he don't know anything about it. And of course, looking for confirmation in the press conference from his colleague. What's her name again, and all that kind of theatrics. It's theatrics and histrionics. We know them.
That's
we know
right.
them. And they cannot
So I hope
fool us.
people, I hope people understand, like manifesto and what have you, that this is the ultimate challenge right here. Who's on the outside, Pedro? If not, if you have voice notes, let us know. I know people want to get on the inside as we are the final half an hour right here, and we are on Dial TV. Again, good morning to all our CARICOM brothers and sisters across the region. You are locked on to Dial TV, and you are locked on to the Grong Report. That's right. It's three of us, of course. The man of the master controls, the Pitbull, Andy, he's not in this morning. You do have, of course, Lennox Smith, and yours truly, Mikey K, right here. So the lines are open. If we have voice notes, what do we have? Run the voice notes, Pedro. Go right ahead.
Yes, indeed. Can I
Good
tell
morning.
you? Oh, go ahead.
Andy and Trinidad and Tobago. Listen this. Rory stole election twice, and it's that.
Hi, Great Rise, Mikey K and Lennox Smith. Mikey guys, we just had an earthquake which is 5.1, right? Last month we had 2 earthquakes within 24 hours. I understand, you know, everybody is busy with the PNM, the Trump, the PDD, but people not really paying attention. People are getting distracted on what's really happening with this planet. All right? So just want to let it be out there in the public domain. We just had a 5.1 earthquake, and it seems like no one is talking about it. All right? You guys have a great day. Stay blessed.
Well, you have done a good job, ma'am, by putting it, of course, in a voicemail. Thank you very much for informing us.
For the last 10 years, we have been shaken up, man. For the last 10 years, we're in the middle of this social turbulence right here. We are not at ease and we are not stable at all. So, I mean, really and truly, it may sound funny, but it's true. People are immune to a lot of things. Cricket come, cricket went. Some people who love cricket, listen, people are trying to survive. That's what's really going on. What's happening in Ukraine, what's happening in Gaza, what's happening with Iran. At the end of the day, sufferers really do focus on that. They want to know if they can feed their family. If women have to still go out there and compromise their sexuality just to put food on the table, while men feel emasculated because they can't provide for their family. All of that is taking place here in Trinidad and Tobago. That's right. To our regional brothers and sisters, our neighbors, that's going on here in Trinidad and Tobago. Go online, check it out. This is the Ground Report. No propaganda, unfiltered, undiluted, raw as it is. These are the facts, ma'am. So we've been in an earthquake for quite some time. Go ahead there, Pedro.
Good morning, Andy for Granny. Yes, the apple don't fall far from the tree. That is Stuart Young. He come in Parliament, he waste 5 years. And before he can come out and say that all patriotic holdings have a false paper. But he didn't call the fraud squad for them, if that is the truth. I see a bookstore business named Mohammed, right, allegedly give money to build a swimming pool for the disabled community in Ghana.
All right, go ahead, Lennox.
Yes, indeed. So we cannot bury our heads in the sand, and of course not look at these issues. And while of course we may not be privy to the nuts and bolts, but of course our common sense and our sense of, at minimum, suspicion. These cannot be, in the true sense of the word, conspiracy theories. How come you, as a Democrat, a man who of course believes in the election process and independent observers. In 2015, as opposition leader, writes to the very institutions that are supposed to send these independent observers to this country when elections comes around, putting in that letter to L'Iraq and of course the Commonwealth Secretariat, among other things, those emails that you said you got in your wherever you invented it turned out to be total lies. Put that in it because you wanted what? Independent observers. And then 4 or 5 years into your own prime ministerial position, you are saying as late as last year that you will not have any observers. You will not have any observers. No.
Hold on a second.
That
We
is
have
not
a quick call.
consistent. Go ahead, my friend. You have
Morning
something
caller.
sinister in mind. Good morning.
Lennox and Mikey K and whoever it is. Lennox, Mikey, you take the words out of my mouth to answer that lady. Family, we appreciate the information, but we go through much more than that. And it's man-made. Because the cerebral palsy community was evicted by the government. Then sent somewhere to Konopia, no, Hoover. Evicted from there. And a private entity in Shogunus by the name of Price Club after facilitating them to do the testing and the housing. And we have to sit in government. So let me repeat that. The cerebral palsy community was evicted by the government from a building. And a private entity working with the UNC came together to house these people, and we have a second government who is in charge of the state and all assets of the state. So, ma'am, as we say, we're not actually here to bring any information, but we have much more than that to deal with. Like a prime minister, we prime minister who come on our stage to talk about underwear. Ma'am, we have much more to study. And the prime minister of Trinidad and Tobago, and the best thing he can bring. But I know what's going on. I understand. Figure corner, normally they go figure corner every year after the budget, or during the budget. And they couldn't go this year because of crime, because they were shooting in the morning, right by figure corner. So they went to the Elmore Community Center, they can barely full the center. They put chairs outside in the yard, and nobody was there. I passed it twice. First public meeting I ever see with a public, with a political party. They can drive through without even slowing down. No traffic whatsoever. So the PNM know what they're doing. So you have to bring things to talk. Stupid talk. But Lennox and Andy, before I go, and Mikey, sorry, before I go, I need to, and a champion call this morning. I've been since yesterday of something happening in our country that if the citizen, especially of African descent, not scared, something wrong with us. Mikey and Lennox, there's an allegation of a police kidnapping / murder with a police vehicle. Marked police vehicle. As an African youth, I'm scared. Here why I'm scared, Mikey and Lennox. If I see the police now, what to do? Stop the driver. What to do? Because of the next incident of a alleged shooting of a guy a year ago in Shogunus, 18 times. And I know use of force policy is when the threat is not, when you're not feeling that threat no more, you can stop. And he was shot 18 times. So when did they feel not threatened? They threatened while you were for the 10 shot, the 11 shot, the 12 shot, 13, 14, 15. When they would have stopped. But the thing is, the gentleman lives. And he's putting some videos out on social media where it's very disturbing. And I find the media mainstream is not picking it up. And my opinion, and the Lennox and Mikey, the media has failed us in Trinidad and Tobago. The media has failed us. Because as a black man from Mova, young African man, and I hear allegations of the police using police vehicles. Nobody was charged yet.
What to do if I see the police? Drive off and them and end up in more problem, or stop and end up in problem. So the people we think supposed to be safeguarding us, we are just frightened of them right now. We are a bit scared of them. No, Lennox and Mikey are really asking all these questions this morning. What to do when I see the police driver? Drive to the nearest police station and then shoot up my car for driving off, or stop and run the fear of being kidnapped and murdered. And I find we talking about KFC and we talking about highest raising the money. I thought serious allegations going on with the police service right now. So forgive me for taking it serious because I'm an African man and I have custom being victimized by the police. So I just want to hear your thoughts on this, and me and Lennox, and Mike and Lennox, I will listen off here.
Well, while you were speaking, of course, what ran across my mind is that Beatum youth that was shot in that car, riddled with bullets and crashed into the Republic Bank on the Brian Lara. And then, of course, you had the mover situation as well in Juman's Drive. When, of course, and those are matters that are still before the court. But what we know is that some of the police officers were, in fact, charged in the mover incident, but we still to get some clarity with respect to the one on Brian Lara Promenade, the vehicle crashing into the Republic Bank on Independence Square, as we would generally call it. So yes, you're quite right. You need to know it is a scary situation, and it is a question of, depending on the circumstance, what you do. If you genuinely believe that these are rogue elements, then you will have to take a particular position. If you believe it is a genuine one, because of your own action and the police have responded, then you would know what to do. That is the best we can do from this perspective, but it is really a frightening situation. Maybe Erla Christopher is none the wiser. She has not given us anything to appease us as a public, just to say that she would be very, very concerned. The police is very concerned. The leadership is very concerned and are prepared to root out those negative elements. But when those negative elements purported to be police officers acting in the course of their legitimate duty, you believing that is so, and then it turned out that they were bandits, then of course you will understand that it would have been a fait accompli, meaning that it would have been too much too late, because you might have lost your life, as we have seen with respect to that kidnapped victim in that scenario that introduced this discussion by that Laventil caller. Well done, young man. Good morning. We still have a few seconds, I should say, or 1 minute, in fact. But of course, Mikey, probably we could. No, it's 10 o'clock. I am seeing 39 here. No.
It's 10 o'clock now. We still have some minutes to go. Again, we are on Guile TV. Yes. We are on Real Media TT. For all the good folks, welcome. If we have any voice notes, Pedro, no voice note, give them the numbers to call in, Lennox.
Yes, indeed. 239-5120. 239-5120 for the new callers, because I'm sure that many would have felt that we were up to 9 o'clock and therefore would have winding their way to work or pleasure, as the case may be. But of course, those of you who still have some time, then it means that the entire system is open up to you now to, of course, make your calls, because, during that period, that hectic period, you might have not gotten an opportunity. So 239-5120, 239-5120, and the other number to call us right now, 225-6644, 225-6644. Again, 225-6644, and of course the WhatsApp to get us at, leave a voicemail if you can. Yes, we have some time. 681-7832. 681-7832. Remember, of course, that today is the first of the 2-hour session on Guile Caribbean, and we look forward, of course, to interacting with you, having gotten this extended time. But remember that there is a cost involved, and therefore the patriotic dinner or
Lunch,
or lunch.
patriotic lunch, yes.
Lunch, right, okay.
Yeah, barbecue,
Lunch.
veggie.
But you
For
could
those
also
of you
keep
who
it
are
for dinner as well if you wish, because it could be
fasting,
stored. Yeah,
we
but it's
also have the
lunch. Yes.
veggie.
Yes.
Of course.
And of course,
You can keep it for
$50,
dinner.
yes.
You can have a late lunch. You can have a early supper.
Yes.
$50 chicken, 40 veggie. Please,
right,
folks,
that's right, yes.
get in touch. Get in touch with
we
the
have up to
Pitbull.
tomorrow, people, for you to get your tickets. So call us. Mikey, give them the numbers to get us out. And
Yeah,
of course,
for
we'll be collecting
Pitbull,
between today and tomorrow.
Right. For Pitbull, 366-3053, 366-3053. For Lennox, 337-6940, 337-6940. And yours truly, 494-0938. That number, 494-0938. Get your ticket, get your Patriot lunch. We have any voice notes, Pedro? If not, of course, the lines are open. We have about a little more than 15 minutes. So much is taking place. So again, you heard for yourself, Lennox, and to all the people who are on, what they're coming with. They are coming to let you know that it is impossible to steal the elections.
I suppose
right? So,
that person will be silenced now, having regard to all of the other variables that will come together in order to steal an election. All right, I'm sure that they may have to go back and, of course, back in their what I consider to be their study room and think again as to how you could counter those variables that are actual wild cards, and of course generate the kind of maverick situation that and very fluid situation that of course is the PNM and Rowley demonstrated.
We have a caller. Now go ahead, caller. Make way. Go ahead, caller.
Good morning.
I appreciate how they're not break down that for them to understand, because it is committed to this narrative. So throw out one ball and then they have nothing to rebuttal or try to come back now to counter the reaction or the statement that Lennox just made there. Them feel that our election has only been stolen. That report showed that all the ballots is counted in front of everybody, and you watching it, I watching it, and have the mediators them, so nothing can be. Election has been stolen before the election, and like how Guyana, what took place in Guyana, it will have been stolen after the election. And that's why you need recognize legitimate outside observers, neutral observers. Good common point, because Rowley don't say that our winning election in Guyana, and it was about me and Motley and some outsider that say something right over here. Let me get the court this side. Present government, remember Novel, he don't say no one no UNC government in Guyana. All them was statement me. So we come there, I the brain, watch the brain. Hey, no, we just have ministers here, so nothing can be done with that. They have gone and realized that okay, have 2-3 voters that you could see about 500 votes in an area where the marginal constituency and say that early vote, nobody has to sit down and mediate and find out who that and all this kind of thing. So let them don't commit nonsense, sir. They don't commit nonsense and feel that they're going to throw out the population and how people say that now, really, boy, making up these stories that the election could be stolen. Look, this is the man explain that. But tell them something. Everybody in this country is not PNM, and everybody has script. And for Porter Spain, but tell Porter Spain something. Now, from ancient days, they call me all my work, career and lifestyle, and they call me Mr. Natural, because I love all type of people. And if I was living in Porter Spain, trust me, you would have about 15 nice Bogla grandchildren that I love to death. Wouldn't have been so miserable in your old age. All of them would have come up and you'd have been plotting the hair, nice straight waving hair, you'd have been looking to buy ice cream, some of them might have teach out to make for lorry, you'd have kind of curry duck and all this kind of thing, and you'd have love yourself, and you would not be so miserable, agenda that you have trying to call people racist and all this kind of thing. And I love me. I would have you the best son-in-law. And I get a nice grandchildren. Have a good morning, gentlemen. Enjoy your rest of the morning.
Well said, my friend.
Yes, yes. The lines are open. The lines are open.
Gerrymandering of boundaries is, of course, conveniently transferring polling divisions and all of that. That is what we are concerned with.
That's right, but they're coming to tell you they put them already out there. They put them already out there to defend the indefensible, to talk about how it cannot be stolen. If it can't be stolen, then what you want $10 million for? If you coming to tell us that it is so precise, right? The fact that the process itself is so good and it's above board, then why ask for $10 million for the EBC? And why do you have to bring in software and have electronic voting? Why? If you explain that it works so well and people can be held accountable and it's transparent, we want $10 million for. So on Friday, when the opposition leader questioned, of course, the vague line in the item budget under construction of buildings, which was allocated $400 million to the OPM, and she asked what buildings are the office of the Prime Minister constructed for $400 million. Rowley offered an explanation that same night in the community center with those few chairs, saying it was money owed to the Urban Development Corporation of Trinidad and Tobago Limited, UDCOT, which falls under his purview. The Prime Minister has part of his portfolio, Minister for UDCOT. UDCOT reports to the Prime Minister. So any allocation to UDCOT will come up in the budget as OPM, Office of the Prime Minister. Yeah, that is here. He said that UDCOT had done a lot of work in recent times from the Red House, President's House, Queen's Hall. He said for 6 years, UDCOT was not paid any money. And some of the money allocated to the OPM was to pay them off. So you that we say. So Lennox.
No, you see, the conspiracy to engage in the raiding or the pillaging of the treasury continues under Rowley. First and foremost brings UDCOT under his portfolio, the office of the Prime Minister. Understand that. The UDCOT is paid by concessions, if you want to call it that, or by a special allowance from the state and per contract. But what you have to understand is that the person who is in charge of that institution and that of the agency is Noel Garcia. And let me say categorically, well, because we have real media and so on, I will not say it. But of course, my position on him is that he is a very sly and slimy fella. Right? So I'm very connected to the Prime Minister. And so you could understand why Balize House and the PNM, broken in 2015 as a bankrupt organization, can now construct at over $100 million Balize House monstrosity of steel, concrete, etc. Understand that. And everywhere Rowley would have gone in past iterations of the PNM in government under Manning, and now we have seen that everywhere he would have went, there is some bubble connected to him, whether it be, of course, in national quarries, whether it be in planning, whether it be in the Ministry of Housing. Yes, I have information with respect to Ministry of Housing in particular, and that of Greenvale. He was the minister at the time. And of course, Rahel owned the land, yes, and then of course designated as agricultural lands, but was bought as residential lands, and then of course constructed there with Rowley's wife being one of the signatories to, of course, the company that eventually constructed those homes. Yes, Rowley, we know, and you sycophants and opportunists. I know you don't like to hear that, but there is more to come. Election is upon us, and we are going to tell you what Rowley will not tell you, would not like you to know, and of course show you where he saw and sees in the UNC that which is in him, but of course attempting to deflect attention, but facts and history can't lie. Facts and history can lie, and we are going to do that because we recognize that the sycophants and the apologists and they themselves may have been hoodwinked by, of course, a man who claimed to be a Democrat, who claimed to be in the interest of Trinidad and Tobago, but when he got into office, reversed everything on us and telling us now that we must accept pain, ache, agony, poverty, induced as the best thing since sliced bread. Whilst, of course, Kamala Prasad-Bissessar is saying, for example, that she would like to see minimum wage at $25 as opposed to the additional $2 of Rowley. And Rowley and they trying to tell us that her recommendation is populist. Just imagine that. Her recommendation is populist, but to add $2 in an election year is not populist, but more than that, telling us that the business community will start, of course, to lay off people and so on, because Kamala recommended $5 additional. But his $2 that he recommended will not have the same effect on the business community. Hold on your tail, look at fool nobody with that. That is an insincere, sinister, evil, and hoodwinking, if not gaslighting approach, a poor exercise in what? Reverse psychology that we will, of course, disabuse on this program and others as we go closer and closer to the next election. They must not be able to get into government ever again, and the PNM itself must be under threat in terms of its extinction once and for all.
And here, just to let you know, for those who may not have known, that Beverly Ramsey Moore has been re-elected as president of Pan Trinbago. Yes. So Beverly is back. Beverly Ramsey Moore has been re-elected as president of Pan Trinbago following the organization's annual general meeting, quadrennial convention yesterday. Shortly after her victory, she posted to her Facebook page, "Thank you, Lord." Ramsey Moore secured 225 votes. He is happy, she is happy. He has been re-elected as Pan Trinbago head.
And don't be surprised if that too was orchestrated. Don't be surprised. Having regard to the record that we were able to be privy to by the various interviews that we would have conducted here on the ground report by
we have a caller
in the field. Good morning.
Go ahead, caller, go ahead.
Good morning.
Listen, I am moved from here since the start this morning and every morning. According from Las Lomas.
Go ahead, Las Lomas.
I agree 100% with Mr. Barco. Election could be stolen many ways. Because I remember the last election, we worked real hard in La Hoqueta Talpa. We was the night that the results was being called out. We was at Julian John office. And Wallerfield didn't come in, Marmoral didn't come in. And this big clown come on the radio, on the TV, a big screen TV. And La Hoqueta people was getting on, they was enjoying themselves and they was squealing because Julian John was leading all the time. Leading, so we have to look at this thing always. She was leading all the time. And all on a sudden, as I said, these two places didn't come in yet. The results didn't come in. And this man come with his wife and me, who, small pin and all of them, and say the People's National Movement has won the election in Trinidad and Tobago. So you see, we had to look for all how, I don't know how we going to make it to the real observers and Lennox. Mighty, I listen to all you.
We will insist. We will insist. And they have to respond.
Just like how they back down with the Hyatt and local currency. That's what we have to do.
That's right.
You see, the thing, they believe that we sleeping. All the stuff that they're doing behind closed doors, they didn't count on the ground report.
That's right.
They didn't count on corridor transformation. They didn't count on the observer. That's the thing about it. He believed that we would have gone. We are on Gael TV. I hear you on radio because we're on TV. The same show that he had to leave the comfort of his vehicle to shelter in the rain because he said it was on is the same show that is going to be at the EBC, the Stakeholders United Movement at the EBC. You hear people calling him, but they start already. They start with, no, it cannot be stolen. It cannot be stolen. It's transparent that the process, and up to now, he hasn't highlighted the fact, how do you deal with those vulnerable points within that process? Because he's talking about individuals, and we said it here, they go lie, they go buy, they go pacify, and they go mama guy. Because they go lie and they go buy. He talking about individuals, Lennox.
Yeah.
Individuals.
One-dimensional, have on blinders, because it's the same way the PNM thinks. The one salary, a salaried person, not a business person, a salaried person, fixed salaried person, right? They would impose property tax, then go and impose, let's say, electricity and water, etc. And in every one of them, they have independent arguments to justify their acts, not recognizing that all of that pressure is being placed on one salary. That is how they think. Well, he believed that because there is a clear argument that the possibility that cannot be used as the alpha and omega for saying that an election is stolen, that they could get away with it. No, we understand now all of the parameters. And let me tell you something. I had a case, sorry to burden you with it, but I think it's important. With the same Garcia, that's why I could talk to Garcia in a partner, but you have to wait on the corridor transformation. Let me tell you what I think of him. But anyhow, sent some people to evict a fella in Mangaroos. I told him to go to the court and bring up Garcia, charge him privately for larceny and breaking and entering. That was done. The fella called the summons officer went down to EBC to serve Garcia. Garcia never came downstairs, never came to court. And the final day when the guy went to court, the magistrate told the guy, but I am surprised, Mr. Norshad Ali, I can never forget the guy. Mr. Norshad Ali, the DPP sent and say, Henderson was the DPP at the time. The DPP sent and say that this matter must be withdrawn. This fella Garcia in reached the court yet. The police catching the tail to serve him the summons. The man looking for justice, Norshad Ali. And the magistrate said, I'd never seen this before, where the DPP getting involved in a private matter. But the DPP is responsible for all criminal matters, and this is a criminal matter because you accuse the man of larceny and breaking and entering, and so the matter is dismissed. That is personal experience. So you telling me all the hogwash we're only talking about when it is convenient, of course, that the boards and them operate independently. In the case of Malcolm Jones, and they had nothing to do with it, and the TCT board operating independently, and the EBC operating independently. But all the time, decisions are being made in favor of the PNM when in fact it ought not to be, and it is so conspicuous and pellucid. Hold on the tail, we know who you are, and therefore we have to go after all in every dimension. It's not a one-dimensional thing where you could start to engage in your siloism. No, we understand how complex it is and how nefarious and how deep these fellas think to do evil so as to stay where they are. Yes, indeed.
Lennox, we got to wrap it up. It's 10 a.m. We are out of here. I think we have a voice note, Pedro. Run the voice note and let's make our way out. Don't forget Patriot Lunch. Yep. Don't forget Patriot Lunch this Friday, October the 11th. So please, tickets, check out Pitbull 366-3053. Send him a WhatsApp 366-3053. Lennox Smith 337-6940. 337-6940. And yours truly, Mikey K, 494-0938. 494-0938. It's our fundraiser, folks. It's your program, the program you love. It's your morning coffee. It's what you want to hear right after you say your prayers. And thank God for being among the living and above ground. Run the voice note, Pedro. And Pedro, thank you so much. He is still learning some English, but he is doing well.
But
Yeah,
just to conclude quickly, you know, PNM has been accused of these electoral fraud and interference. You know, UNC has been around in different forms and so almost the same amount of time, but have never been accused of election fraud or stealing an election. Notice that is one of the difference between the UNC and the PNM.
And yeah, that's right. Go ahead, Pedro, as we make our way out. Run the voice note.
Florida. Hey, ask Mr. Forrest Pay. Goes about he have money, get free. Ask him who give him 2 times pension raise. Ask him who give him that. Yeah, ask him who did that. That guy is a fool, man.
All right, thank you so much. Folks, the EBC. Let's not lose focus, the EBC. Hey, I want to thank you so much for linking with us here this morning. And of course, you know, our time on Gael, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Please get your Patriot Lunch. Those of you who have tickets and outstanding monies, let's wrap it up between today and tomorrow so the folks who are catering can be on spot and we can get this meal to you as quickly as possible. And of course, get you the pickup points. We're going to give you the pickup points before Friday. So right, tomorrow we should have, we just need someone in San Fernando, so south, a volunteer, please. We have Arima. I want to thank the Arima executive. Hey, Pagai, Darian, Nairan, Morgan, and all the good folks, Crystal, and all the good folks up there. Bishop, Sean Martin, everybody, good people, real good people. They're walking. Hey, and of course, we have in Tunapuna. So we're going to let you know what we're in Tunapuna. We do have Central, Chaguanas and Environs. It's Monroe Road right there, Monroe Road. So you can get it. Your pickup is there. And of course, we do have Port of Spain, which is off around Wrightson Road. So we'll tell you more about that tomorrow at the car wash. There's going to be a car wash there. So those in Port of Spain and Environs. And those of you with 50 or more tickets, of course, we will make whatever necessary to make sure and deliver to you at that office spot or wherever you are. Folks, until tomorrow, we are out here. Remember, please try and stay alive. Until we meet tomorrow, please try and stay alive. Pedro, thank you so much, my friend.
This is Massive Go Sign, and I'm giving you an account. Rolling my account. Rolling my account. Hey!
Yes, of course, we have come to the end of this morning's program. I trust that you enjoyed it, as I have immensely. And of course, don't forget tonight on the Corridor Transformation, your host, Lennox Smith, will be with you at 8 o'clock on, of course, Facebook and YouTube. On Facebook, don't forget to log into Love Laventil, and on YouTube, of course, as usual, Corridor Transformation. Have a wonderful rest of the day. And don't forget, of course, those of you who want your tickets, please contact me at 337-6940. We will be collecting, of course, between today and tomorrow, as you have heard on the ground report. Have a wonderful one. Bye-bye.
Rowley mother tell Rowley she don't know what to do. What you really didn't know, you small, involving corruption and all kind of bubble. So Rowley mother decided to do some checking, but anytime she checked, things still missing. Sweet potato and cassava, broccoli and cauliflower, the pawpaw and the mango, and the pitango, even all the passion fruit that bear in every month. Rowley mother, Rowley mother, Rowley mother count. Rowley mother planting all kind of produce, grapefruit, lime and orange for you to make your juice. A hard-working woman, working day and night, but them jamming solely thieving. As she out she liked, so she went up in Tobago, up in Lake Edo, for Obia to see who thieving hototo. The lettuce and tomato, the cabbage and pimento, the celery and baji, the saiva and the carai, even all the pumpsy that they're in every month. Rowley mother, Rowley mother, Rowley mother.